Hey Jeff,
Hi, Lou. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I had a tough thing yesterday. I wish Chad was on, but I was out in the garage and just putting a little oil in my daughter's car, the one that I used to have. It's a 2008 Honda, and it's leaking oil a little bit. Just needs like a quart every few weeks. But I heard a commotion down by the chicken coop. I had the chickens out in their little fenced-in area. It's not a secure fenced-in, but it just keeps them from wandering around the yard. And a dog had gotten in the and so I heard the commotion first and I ran down there. Before I even got down there, two of the chickens were injured, and then the other ones ran up toward the garage. Three of them got in the garage, and he had one in its mouth right in front of the garage, and I kicked him like I was punting a football, like 40 yards. I thought that would be the end of it, and he, I underestimated his tenacity, I guess. He ran off with that one. So all in all, we had three chickens that were killed, and
Oh man,
one of
how
them
many do
died.
you have altogether?
We only have four now.
That
We've
sucks.
had as many as 12, but the one we bandaged up as best we could, and
Is this a neighbor's dog?
yeah,
Did you
it
talk
got
to the
loose.
neighbor?
It got loose, and
I think they should buy you fucking three more chickens.
what chickens are, but they're more like just pets to us. We get eggs,
Right.
so we bandaged the one up, and it slept inside last night, but it died this morning.
Oh,
Henry was with it, so we're all a little bummed out about that. But
I'm sorry.
you know, but I just thought that I was outside and they were outside, and it was okay because I wasn't too far away, but it just happened so fast, like within 30 seconds or less than a minute. I mean, it was just complete chaos. Anyways, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna bum out the thing, but yeah, it was a little not so good. And then the Mets, how they are, it's just just gonna
Boy, did they blow it the other day, man. Holy shit.
yeah,
They
just
find
awful.
all these ways to lose. I think it's time you got to switch out their manager, to be honest with you. I mean,
I
that
don't
guy's,
know. I don't know what to do. It's like it's
and the same thing goes for the Cardinals. That guy's not working. You
well,
got
that
all
guy
that
that
fucking
guy definitely should not be
He's
there.
that Ollie Marmol or whatever his name is.
He's handled some things wrong, and that guy definitely shouldn't be there.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's probably the worst manager the Cardinals have had since I've been alive.
I really thought that the Cardinals still had a chance to win, the division, but I finally, it's like the third plane hit, and I'm finally realizing that it's on purpose. But they're not gonna win this obviously. And the Mets, I guess the Mets could turn around, but I don't really see it.
When you got the highest payroll in all of baseball and you're doing that shit,
Yeah,
come on.
it's
All
just
right, should we
crazy.
bring our guy in?
Yeah, yeah. Let's bring him in. I won't talk about the chickens anymore. Sorry about that. The worst that you've gotten is talking about your bad back or something.
Yeah,
I don't want to start off on a bummer. I won't be a bummer.
I know how valuable animals can be. And it's not just because of the egg.
Yeah.
Mr. Sean Laptop, ladies and gentlemen.
John Laptop. I like that name.
There he is,
With his
sporting his Montreal Expos t-shirt. Love it.
Exhibition League baseball, right?
That's right.
With a name like Sean Laptop, you should go into computers, man.
Yeah.
Be a natural.
That's
Or a
his
national.
last name hyphenated.
Oh,
All right, so do you want to go through how bad I did this week?
okay. Before
I
I
got
before
the
I
I got the collar.
before I do that, I wanted to talk about. We were talking about chickens and eggs. I had some chickens killed, and I don't know if you guys saw Annie Hall, the Woody Allen movie, but he's got this great joke at the end of it, and it kind of sums up the whole movie. It's kind of like why you go through all the pain you do in the relationships and all that kind of stuff. So he said, "Doc, you gotta help my brother. He thinks he's a chicken." He goes, "He thinks he's a chicken. How long has this been going on?" He's like, "I don't know, a few, couple years." And he goes like, "A couple years? Why didn't you come to me sooner?" He's like, "Well, we needed the eggs." So,
Uh,
anyways, so all right.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
So I think this is the right standings. Yep. Okay, so I had a big screw up that Sean was one of the two people that almost immediately pointed it out to me that there was a problem. And
I talked to Larkin about an hour ago. He said to say hello.
he just texted me something, but I didn't have time to look at it. All right, so
Yeah, I think I got that same text, to be honest with you.
so here are the standings, which I will finally share. All right, you guys seeing it now?
Yes.
So the screw up was usually this part I get rid of because these are values that I copy and paste. And somehow I decided to go down to these formulas and get rid of these, which is I don't want to do that. That's bad. So I was careful in these formulas. I could see that they related to an older spreadsheet. So I corrected all these, copied it down. But I forgot were also formulas. And these were in jumbled order. So it looks like whatever order that Knockers, Bizzotti, and Sombreros were in here, it was all jumbled. You can see one had the other, and another had the other, so that's why the standings had all the screw up. But it only affected these three teams. So like if you were on top like Satch or you're on the bottom, it didn't affect anything. But anyways, that was explaining the
I never would have caught it because I don't normally pay that close of attention to it. But I knew that I needed to do some worrying this weekend. And I'm like, I think I had more points than that.
Well, to be honest with you, this kind of stuff happens all the time. But if I discover it, I just like sweep it under the rug. And if nobody discovers it, I just go with it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
This was a real special circumstance. But if you hadn't discovered it, Steiger found it too. Like he knew that like your team was wrong. So it's good that we've got people checking because obviously I do make mistakes. But anyway, so Satch, bad news for all of us except for Satch that he went 6-0. That's back to back 6-0s, and 2 weeks ago. This is exactly what we didn't need, right? We thought maybe Jordan's gonna be up for a while. Maybe he'll come back to the pack. Well,
coming back to earth, and nope.
He's gone 12-0 the past two, and that hasn't helped anybody. Except, of course, Phil thinks it's good news. So, I don't want to say that. And the Dads 0-6, and just a half game ahead of Hack now. Hack is only, Hack went 4-2. This was their first winning week in 2 months. That doesn't count 3 and 3s. It's just you have to be at least 4-2. But that's kind of incredible too. Unless you think that Hack's team is so bad, and I do not. I think that they're, just a normal team, right? So that's pretty incredible.
My team is like fucking Sybil. I never know what I'm getting out of week after week. It's like it's got 15 different identities.
So Sombreros went 4-2, and I think you were 1-5 originally, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big ass change. That's a decent week. 4-2, you're in 7th. And you can see you're only half game out of 6, so you're getting into the striking area, and you kind of got this middle.
Nobody's catching Satch. I just don't want to.
Yeah,
unless he has bad luck, he's going to run away with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if I would have thought that last week, but it's looking kind of clear. I know that I'm not going to catch him. I guess the only one I mentioned last week Spear, I should be saying, could do it because they've been up here the whole time. But I guess Let's Play is the team that I think if somebody's going to pass him, maybe it would be him. I know his innings are a little bit lower than the average team right now.
Well, I didn't look at that. I didn't look at the overages.
Yeah,
but I think Satch he's had a little bit of bad luck. When you go into the other tabs.
Yeah, like the BABIP last, he's got the worst luck, and that's like 50 or so points. So that's getting to be 1 and 2 win territory there.
Yeah,
just based on the performance that he's had, and what you would expect from it. So it doesn't even mean like a talent level difference or this guy's going to do better. It's just a luck thing. So yeah, that's bad news too. So
It's crazy that we're almost at the halfway mark here.
Yeah, isn't it funny? Like when we had Sean on, first it was April, it's early. Even like there's a weird point in the season where it's like middle of May, it's still early, and then all of a sudden you're like middle of June, you're like, it's not really that early now. It's like kind of getting to be like
Yeah.
middle of the
Like,
year.
how do I come back from 24 games back? I'd have to go like 6-0, 5 weeks in a row. And
Well,
even then, I'd still be some games behind.
this is why they invented fantasy football, I think. First you have fantasy baseball, and then you say, hey, we should do this for football because I'm not, I'm not in it until next March. So anyway, so on the Buddha dads, you did hold on to your lead that you had last week, and you actually increased it a little bit. So you got a full game over. It looks like the Gags have crept up a little bit on the Buddha, and Buzzati's still way out in front, 6-win difference. So you can see, I guess they're just below the cutoff here. So they're saying they should be 34 and 41, and they're 40 and 35. So that's a huge, huge difference. Daddies, you should be 30 and 44. So that's
2 games.
something, but it's not.
I'd be above the holy cows.
Yeah. So on the glance, I already talked about that, and it's the same suspects here. Like nothing's changed with the games played, overages and underages. IP overages still McBride's, and now it's less play. Let's play. That's the lowest overage, really. I guess it should say.
143 is a lot.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how he manages that. We know that baked McBride's have a healthy games played underage. So 53. I know Sombrero's a runner up, 44. So both you guys, if you get to work on it, you get guys in every day, especially on those Mondays and Thursdays. You can make up some points. Because that's according to my math, it's I use like the minimum, so that's a lot of points. That's 3 wins for you.
You're gonna have to really stream some serious shit to get back up on that.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I mean, look I've been trying. I'm not, I'm 10 under. I've been trying to reach the max. It's hard, So you can see that something needed to be done with the innings pitch because it's complete opposite. Everybody's over, and I've actually been managing mine. I'm still almost 70 innings over.
Yeah, I'm same as
I've
you.
been converting. I've been putting middle relievers in. What I mean? So it's not like I've just left it alone. If I left it alone, I'd probably be up here.
Right.
So next year this will be a little different. The standings will be maybe a little less difficult to figure out in the middle of the year because we won't have this innings pitch consideration. We won't be talking about it so much. That would probably be good too. So.
Right. Well, if you look at Bizzatti too, I think one of the reasons that goes into why he's got more wins than he should is because he's got so many games over and so many innings over together.
This won't affect the Buddha standings, though. It's separate. The Buddha is just how many points you've got and what kind of win-loss record that deserves. So it's not concerned with like that you were over in innings or anything like that. So there's 2 separate things.
And if you look at it too, Gambler's Spear, 33 games over on his position players, 93 innings pitched over.
Yeah, well, that will be
that's pretty substantial.
That we'll see down here in the prediction model. That it won't like those teams that have big overages. So let's say Spear is predicted to be like a 500 team the rest of the year, and not that this is gospel. I mean, obviously things change. In a couple of weeks, things could look totally different. But I'm just saying, this is only based on what's happened. It's like points per games, points per innings pitched, takes out the overage, and it doesn't assume that you'll make up an underage. So anybody that does make up an underage will be under valued here in the model. So, but yeah, you can see that Satch is got a 7-game lead, and he's predicted to almost double that, by the end of the year. So I don't think that our guts even disagree with that too much. So it still has Hack at the bottom, but a real tight race. When you look at knockers now are predicted 9th, which is just nuts. What you're used to seeing with the knockers. But so it's obviously too close to call. Even like up to McBride's, Cows, any of these teams, it's 4 games, and this prediction model is like really nothing. You know how it works.
Yeah, 5 through 9 is like nothing.
What is it?
5 through 9. I mean, you could just throw that into a jar and
Yeah, yeah. And then it looks like, I don't know
What are you
who's,
saying? I don't belong in your group?
all right, 10.
I don't know who's going to catch that. And then like this next group, you could see, oh yeah, okay, I could see any of these finishing ahead of the other or something like that. So it's just, sombreros are right on the precipice. So if you can climb your way up toward, these teams, then you won't be stuck in the middle, which is kind of like what you're doing now. You've got a clear path out, right? I mean, it's not like you got your games played max all taken care of and you're still in the middle. So it's kind of good news, I guess. So sombreros were one of the weekend warriors with McBride's 2 games, and the Daddies lost 3. So you were on pace for a 3-3 going into the weekend, and then you took the 0-6.
Yeah, I know pitchers going. I don't know where all my fucking starters went. Like somebody skipped some starts somewhere. I didn't seem like I had as many starters going this week.
I think I left 5 points because I didn't move a outfielder in when all that stuff was happening. I had my chickens were attacked. And it was right
This way, I
before
left 17 points on the bench yesterday,
game
and
time.
I still
Yeah.
wouldn't have gotten
See,
a
I
1
hate
or
when
5.
I hate when that happens. I think it was 5 points from McCormick. Soler wasn't starting, so I would have moved McCormick up, but I was too late. And actually, you hate when like a move like that. Look, I would have had 426, and then I would have got 4-2. So you hate when it affects that.
Oh, dude! You know what? The Cubs game started at 9 o'clock here, so I got up just right at 9, and I didn't have time to put Contreras in.
I forgot about that. Yeah, in London.
I was like, God damn it! You got 7 points. I didn't get to get any of those. Ugh.
No, we all have our stories. Like this weekend, I got hosed. I had 3 really good starts. I think Braxton Miller for Miami, he had 1 walk, 13 Ks. He left in a 1-1 tie, so he got a no decision.
Was that Braxton Miller or Braxton Garrett?
Braxton Garrett.
Yeah.
Luzardo went 7 innings, no runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks, no decision.
Yeah.
And then yesterday,
That's just been happening all year long.
Yeah, Brown went for Houston against the Dodgers. He left with a 4-1 lead after 6 with a good outing, and then they blew it, and they ended up coming back and winning, but he gets a no decision. Like that could have been 3 easy wins.
It seems like everybody's bullpen is shit right now.
The wins component is a very lucky area, and it's not like we don't know it, but I can't think of another way to bring up the pitcher's points compared to hitter's points without getting into decimals. And
why don't, instead of giving wins, like points for wins, why don't we give them a point per strikeout?
Because it'd be way too high. Then we have to get into like a decimal area.
Well, I mean, there's guys that have pretty good games that maybe win the game. You don't get a point for the win, but you get a point per K, and they K 8 guys. So it makes those power pitches a little more worth it.
I mean, I've brought this up probably since you've been in the league, and people were against it. In some ways, they're right, because a strikeout compared to a walk isn't worth as much more than a normal out as you think. I think that we value strikeouts a lot because it eliminates some of the luck, right, in the BABIP. You can't get a base hit on a strikeout, no matter how you. Well, I did see Vogelback get on first today on a third strike, which is hilarious because if you're thinking of guys that are going to get to first and a third strike, he would be pretty low on the list. But Rowdy Tellez was on first, and the throw was high, and it was just hilarious to see Vogelback and Tellez together
right next to each other. It's like for a minute there, you think you're watching a sumo match,
or you're watching like some like the industrial softball league that I used to umpire or something. But I did realize that Tellez is a hell of a lot bigger than Vogelback.
Is he really?
And they both weigh a lot, but Tellez has got to be a few inches taller. I mean, maybe
Vogelback's like 5'9".
Yeah,
about 5'10", about 280.
Tellez is tall and big, But anyways,
well, let's look Vogelback up here real quick.
I don't know if we talked about this before when you were on, Sean, but weekend warrior is you know, it's not just our term, but when I was living in the boarding house with Sean, when I met Sean, you know, the winter before we started, you know, the beer league, we had these guys that would come. I guess some of them were friends of yours. I guess I don't know who they were friends with.
Well, yeah, Culbertson would come back up.
Keith Culbertson, and well, these guys. I don't know if they were working or what they were doing, but they would only come in on the weekends, and we called them the weekend warriors. You know, and even Culbertson would even do the you know, like when he was coming in. I mean,
Yeah.
those guys would get so nuts drunk you can't even believe it. I mean, I was doing quite a bit of drinking back then, and I couldn't hold a candle to those guys. I mean, Culbertson was well, shouldn't have used his last name, but you know, like he mistook the hallway for the bathroom at least one time. You know, like I can't imagine getting so mixed up that I would do that. You know, so those guys were nuts, and then, you know, I'm not.
Well, that was Weekend Warrior.
Yeah, they were weekend warriors.
and
That's kind of how we got the. That's how I anyway brought the term into the beer league. You know, I was thinking about those guys. You know, I know that you've
All
heard
right,
the
so
term.
Rowdy Tellez, he is 6'4", 270 pounds. That's a big boy.
Yeah, I mean he
Daniel
really
Vogelbach.
he really did dwarf Vogelbach a little bit. You know.
Oh yeah, because Daniel Vogelbach is only 6 foot, 270 pounds.
Yeah.
So Vogelbach
6
weighs
foot
the same
being
as Rowdy
generous.
Tellez, but Tellez is 4 inches taller than Vogelbach.
Who knows what those weights are, though, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
guess.
well, that's. I'm reading this off a baseball reference, so I'm assuming it's correct.
Vogelbach did lose about 20 pounds in the offseason. I don't know if he's gaining it back. You know, usually you would just, if he made a concerted effort during the year, he would just gain that weight back anyway. But
Chris and I went to a Kane County Cougars game, and that's after Vogelbach got drafted by the Cubs, I think in the like second round or some shit like that. And we actually saw him play out there, and Almora was playing, and Heimer Candelaria was at third. Almora was in center. There was a couple other guys in there too. I don't know if Wilson Contreras was there. That was a very good possibility, but that was a long time ago. But now King County, they don't have an affiliation, so they're kind of gone to the Northwoods League. Anywho, back to what you
Yeah,
were
that's
saying.
actually sad because they had good attendance and they got stiffed when they
Yeah,
you know, whatever, limited everybody to 3 or 4 affiliates.
yep, they did. They got fucked in that whole deal, and it just sucks because that was like a nice getaway out of here. It'd take us 40 minutes, maybe 35, 40 minutes to get out to King County Park and, fucking enjoy a goddamn baseball game on the cheap.
Yeah.
in that case, it's not really how many teams they have. It's just like which ones they keep. Because,
but I didn't understand why they got rid of King County because their attendance was really good.
It's about owners being greedy and not wanting to have to pay for it.
Plus, what you want is cities near Chicago that house the minor league teams because you can go to Des Moines, see AAA. You could have a AA team close. It makes more sense. Like in Connecticut we had the New Britain Red Sox for years. Now they're an independent team, but we had the Connecticut Tigers, which my dad didn't mind because he's a Tigers fan. But it makes no sense to have a Tigers minor league team in Connecticut. And then I think before then or after then it was the Giants. The Hartford team right now is the Rockies, affiliated with the Rockies. It's better than not having a team, but wouldn't it be better if it was like Yankees, Mets, or Red Sox? Like that would be more exciting. If the Mets AA team was in Hartford, that would be great. AA is great. I mean, that's if you want to see it's better in AAA if you want to see up and coming players. It used to be. I guess now it's.
Yeah, I agree. AA is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in AAA, you're kind of like a 4A player.
Well, even A-ball, you're going to see all those good kids before they get to AA. They usually make them go through A first.
Yeah,
so if you get them in their first year or two in the league, you're going to see some kids that are actually going to go through and do some things.
There was just so many levels before, though. You had rookie ball, you had low A, high A, you had the short season. So that's at least 4 levels, and I think the Mets might have even had another single A team besides the ones I'm thinking of, like Savannah, Sand Gnats, and all these things. It's almost like too much. So now if you are in the minors for a team, like it's pretty good because there's only 4 of them. There's only 4 affiliates.
So Lou, you got a home run from Ozuna and Simeon today, and Sean, you got a home run from Acuna Jr. And I got a home run from Adolis Garcia a second ago.
All right, I'll try to finish up this spreadsheet quicker tonight. So,
oh no, that's okay.
Lucky hitting and unlucky BABIP. You got Let's Play and My Baby's Daddies. So this is separate from Buddha. This is saying that you should have 30 more points, which would be an extra win. And it's separate from any Buddha. It's completely.
I would have been a 2 and 4 then.
Well, this is for the year. Yeah, for the year.
Oh, for the year?
Yeah,
Shit, doesn't matter.
Just baked into your hitting luck, you got an extra win in there. I think it's like 26. I don't know. You can see it. And pitching points, Gaggers have been lucky by at least a win, and Satch, unfortunately, probably been unlucky by 2.5 wins so far. So that's bad news. Predicted top 4 is the same as it's been. And players of the week, you see Satch had Matt Olson, player of the week with Ellie De La Cruz from McBride's at the corner infield. And they also had Ketel Marte. And the Daddies, you had Juan Soto, and you still took the collar, so that's sad. It's like the Nationals last year or something.
Pathetic.
Yeah. And then you had Scherzer. Did I spell it right? Okay, Scherzer for Bizzotti and Yuri Perez, or Yuri. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yuri? Is it just Yuri?
Mm-hmm.
For the Knockers, and Alex Young, a free agent, and I think he had 3 wins. That's why he 2 2/3 innings. He had 3 wins. That's what gets you the RP Player of the Week.
That means he's been letting up a run just for them to tie the game.
Maybe, yeah.
And
well,
then
he
he's
can't have
stealing
earned
a
runs.
win.
He probably wouldn't have made it if he had earned runs. I think he had 26 points in 2 2/3 innings. So 21 of those were from wins.
Who's he on? I don't even know who that is.
Geez, I can't even remember. I put him in today, and I don't remember. Maybe a Pennsylvania team. I'm not sure. I can't.
Well,
you
picked him up.
So
I didn't. No.
Yeah. So these guys aren't probably the greatest pickups because that thunder is already passed, right? I mean, like he's not going to get 3 wins in 2 2/3 innings again. But or maybe he will. I don't know. And Elias Diaz for Spear, Player of the Week.
Alex Young is a Cincinnati relief pitcher.
Cincy.
Yep.
Well, when you go on a 13-game heater or whatever they did.
Yeah. Well, he had a save, then a win in 3 days in a row.
No, I thought he had 3 wins.
Then he didn't pitch the 21st, and then the 23rd he got a win.
Oh my God.
And then on Saturday he gave up a run in 2/3 of an inning.
Yeah, I think he had
1
26.
hit, 1 walk, 1 home run.
Yeah, he probably had 2 2/3 innings pitched, which I remember, 3 wins and 1 earned run, right? That would add up to 26, I think.
Yeah, basically it was 3 2/3 inning, and you're looking at 33 points in a 6-game span.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but for last week it was 2 2/3. Well, Spear has Elias or Elias Diaz. I don't know how to pronounce. But he's been on here before. It's kind of nice to have a catcher playing in Colorado. I don't know how good he truly is, but he's doing well, right? He was doing. Probably didn't cost $40 or $50 either. So, well, let's see. Let's take a look at the sombreros, so we can see a little snapshot of the sombreros. Hitting looks pretty good. Not like Satch, but possibly second to Satch. A lot of these metrics. Let's see, third here and third and weighted on base. These are probably the 2 better ones, but
little unlucky in BABIP.
Yeah, you're next to you're runner up to Dad's as far as your BABIP luck, so that should improve, especially when you consider that this is 14 hitting slots. So to make the argument like, well, you deserve to be unlucky, or I deserve to be, well, probably not, unless you really tailor your team. 14 spots is, that's going to really even out the luck. You would think, anyway. Going forward. So it'd be surprising if you're 10th for the year. I mean, you might not be average because we're almost halfway through the year, but but maybe the rest of the year, you should be 6th. Maybe you'll end up 8th in BABIP. And then pitching looks pretty good too. You haven't gotten the best luck, it looks like, here either. Your FIP is 2nd, and your ERA is 6th, so that should probably improve.
My starting pitching is killing me.
I think that's why I didn't notice, but the model likes Sombrero's chances a little bit, right? Sombreros are, I should look at the range here. Sombreros and just to save hold points are, if I can get down there, are 4th. So you're getting the 4th most save hold points. So Sombreros are just looking okay, I would imagine with those things, with the luck, you don't have big overages, right? I can't.
No, I mean, I'm under position wise. Pitching, I'm like 30 over.
Yeah, so this wouldn't even make up your underage at hitting, and it already likes your chances going forward, higher than like Spears by just a couple of games. But obviously, the games played portion would bring this up even higher. The model doesn't assume that you'll make those underages up or whatever. So yeah, geez, yeah, it has you in 5th. It has you in 5th, just out of the money. Either way, right? You'd win some money, or you'll have a king of the offseason honors. So anyways, all right. So that's good, right? I don't want to spend too much time. I think last time we were here for an hour. So that's a little more decent, right? What time are we at now? Yeah, half hour. So that's better. Yeah. Then we can see our faces all big here. That's good.
For a minute. All right. I got a list of things that happened over the last week. Recently, I don't know who's got them, but Jordan Westberg was brought up. Just check the player availability. Jordan Westberg. He's a
Indian. Okay.
Kind of a touted kid for the Orioles, and they thought Colin Cowser was going to be the guy that brought up, and it wasn't. It was Jordan Westbrook. So he is paging Dr. Satchel's guy.
I'm thinking of Jake Westbrook, right? Was that guy in the Indians or something?
I remember.
Major League.
Yeah, so he's his first time up in the majors. He was
No,
drafted.
I'm saying, wasn't Jake Westbrook? Wasn't that?
I thought he was a real guy.
This is Westberg.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm thinking Westbrook.
Yeah. But wasn't that his name? The guy, and it was Tom. What's his actor's name? Or his real name? Tom Berenger.
Berenger, yeah. I can't remember his character. See, this is a confession, but I've never seen Major League, if you can believe it.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
I mean, I've watched parts of it, but I don't think I'm going to like it that much. I don't know.
Well, it's cheesy, but
we should talk about baseball movies because I have clear favorites, and I think I have one that you guys would laugh at that it was even in my top 5. So, but we can talk about that after. Sorry, Jeff. Go to your.
Oh, it's okay. Jazz Chisholm, Gene Segura back for the Marlins, so they're off the IL. Dodgers plays Chris Taylor on the 10-day with a bone bruise. I don't agree with a 10-day for a bone bruise, man. Put some dirt on it, walk it off.
You don't want to put dirt on your bones, though.
You're going to be out 10 days because of a bone bruise. All right, so Tim Anderson's back, but they're putting him at second base here a little bit, so he might qualify at second as well as shortstop if this stays like this. I guess they're trying to keep his arm from getting hurt again. So they're kind of getting him closer to first base. I like the idea, to be honest with you.
They had the top 5 or 6 hitters that difference in their OPS plus. I think it was OPS plus. Yeah, it was. the biggest losers from last year. 2022's OPS plus compared to the 2023's. Can you guess who it was on top? But you already named two of the guys in the top five. It was Segura was on there.
Segura and
Tim
Anderson.
Anderson was on there.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a home run.
But the leader was
crazy.
Jose Abreu.
Really?
Biggest
Yeah,
change
he's
from
had an
last year's
awful year.
OPS plus. I don't know if I could remember the other guys. Yeah, but
Buxton day to day with back spasms, so he's having problems this year. He's up and down. Eduardo Rodriguez is throwing bullpen sessions now, so whoever's got him might get him back pretty soon. He was doing pretty good before he went down. The Angels have been busy. They had a couple of deals. One they acquired Moustakas, and the other one they acquired a guy off your Mets, Eduardo Escobar.
so that sounds like to me like Rendon's not coming back.
Sounds to me like that's the case. But they it sounds like to me like they needed to bolster their bench a little bit.
Well, they had their shortstop went down, and I think their second baseman.
Urshela went down.
Like 3 infielders.
The minor leaguer Neto.
Yeah, he got hurt.
He got hurt. Urshela's hurt. So I think they're trying their hardest to make it work somehow. I mean, I think just to make the playoffs, I think that's what they want to do. I mean, because I don't know what they would do in the postseason, but
you think they go all in, thinking they might lose Shohei Ohtani after the season?
I don't think they go all in.
No,
right? I mean, like, how could they? I don't know. If they don't trade,
you know what though? It really depends on what happens over these next 2 weeks, whether or not he might be made available.
I wonder if they would like
trade. Somebody might throw them an offer they can't
refuse. From the Mets, just to go for it.
Give them Verlander, Scherzer, Vogelbach.
Oh,
all right. So, they just came out and said Aaron Judge has a torn ligament in his toe, and he might be out for a long time. Actually, with that,
now they're talking August, and then they even mentioned the possibility that if he can't come back by September, he would have the surgery.
Yeah, so and then you're gone for the year. Maybe don't even start next year on time.
Maybe that would depend on if Rodon is not going to come back this year. Then they figure like, screw it, it's just not.
Is that when he crashed into the fence?
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
It's the stupid cement layer they have at the bottom that the fence is, on top of. That's what he hit. If he had hit. If the fence went all the way down to the ground,
he had like turf toe.
I know it's a pain in the ass, but if they dug out a trench, put that cement layer at ground level, and then when he kicks the wall, it's only that padded. It wouldn't have happened probably. I mean, he kicks cement.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Marlins. The young guy. They moved to center. I'm getting old. I can't think of these names fast enough.
Oh, Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm. And that was even worse because that cement part, that lip was actually jutting out into the field. So it wasn't just straight up with the fence. It came out like about 6 inches, and that's what he hit. And I was like, Jesus Christ, the amount of money that they put in these guys. How much would it cost to correct that fence thing? It's like, it would probably be nothing, virtually nothing compared to what you're losing.
They don't really do anything. It's like this is a reactive society sometimes where it's just like, oh, until something happens, everything's good to go. That's a cheap man's way of looking at it. I don't want to make a big deal that after the fact, I certainly didn't think about the lips of outfield fences before it happened. But come on, these guys got to think of everything. They've got staffs of dozens, if not more than hundreds of people. I mean, somebody's got to think like, hey, for $2 million, we could, this would make it less likely that we would, that Jazz would get hurt on this. Yeah. And then now you got one of your best players out because of something stupid like that.
Maybe we shouldn't move him to center, at the start of the season anyway, like, I don't know. Maybe we should just get somebody to play center.
Hey, Leclerc, surprise, surprise. Jose Leclerc's on the 15-day disabled list. This time he sprained his ankle.
Yeah.
I think
he's always there.
I think him and Eloy Jimenez are just vacationing in some like, fucking island out somewhere, enjoying the sun and shit.
Some intern got fired because he put Jose Leclerc and the media guy with IL next to his name, and they don't know if it was a joke or it was just an oversight. No, that's not true. That's a false rumor. Sorry.
All right, the Orioles have been doing a little bit here. They traded Spencer Watkins to the Astros, and Cedric Mullins came back off injury, so he is back in the game.
Spencer Watkins, and that's a ball player's name, don't you think?
Yeah, but I don't
when
even
you're
know
growing
who
up
the
and your
fuck
name
he
is
is.
Spencer Watkins, you know you're going to be, MLB, NBA, something like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm making bad.
Speaking of old good baseball names, Mike Yastrzemski is on the 10-day with a left hamstring strain. He's been having somewhat of
He's a
a
gagger.
yeah. He's been having a pretty good year, huh?
I was so he's been just fine.
He's been
But
average.
I was so irritated on Friday. This is the first time I think it's ever happened to me. I had 3 guys go down at the same position, like put on the IL on the same day. So I already went through this whole thing, like looking down the list. Who am I going to put up? And I was like, okay, cool. And then I look. So it was Brian Reynolds, Ramon Laureano, and Yastrzemski. And I like to have 2 guys that qualify at each position on my roster at all times. So
You just named 3 guys that are on my list today.
I needed 2 center fielders, and so one guy goes down, no big deal. Okay, I picked up whoever. I don't even think I picked somebody up. I think I had coverage on my roster. But then I had 2 more times. Friday night, I'm sitting there like, screwing around trying to find. So I ended up with Grisham and Chaz McCormick. Those are my center fielders now. Fucking A.
You want Alec Thomas?
Not that they're so much worse than Ramon Laureano, but the point is like I just wanted to like watch TV and drink. I didn't want to like pour through my lists. I was all done with that. It's 8:30 or whatever. I was trying to get it in before the West Coast game started. I was like, who am I going to get? Come on.
All right. Well, the next one was Laureano is on the IL with a fractured hand.
Yeah.
And then I was going to mention that Brian Reynolds is on the 10-day with back inflammation.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? Is he got like a swollen back? How do you get a swollen back?
What do they
usually it's like bone pain or nerve pain but like I mean, what the fuck did you do to make your back swell up?
I swear this 10-day IL is a curse because anytime someone gets a hangnail now, that's what they throw them on.
Yeah. I think you're onto something there.
Well, I think Reynolds.
When it was 15, it was one thing. But
yeah.
Okay, they missed 2 games. All right, we'll just throw him on here and he'll miss them.
Well, I think the reason why they do is because position players are going to miss more games than pitchers. So if you got a pitcher, he's on the 15-day disabled list, is for pitchers now, and that's like 3 starts. He's going to be gone for 3 starts. Whereas if you put a position player on for the 15-day disabled list, even if he gets good in like 10 days, he's still stuck off for 5 more days.
Yeah.
And, it's like, that's a lot of time.
I mean, as fantasy players, you like the teams that do the quick move, though, right? The guy's hurt. It's not looking good. Let's put him in. Because, I think with Reynolds, he was, in limbo for which is irritating to me because, I'm not going to drop him or something. I'm not going to drop a player. So you got to wait around. So it's nice when those teams do put him right on the IL. But yeah, you're right. It'll get to be like 3 or 4 days, and you're like, well, we may as well just put him because it's 10 days. If it was 15, they would think, another time about it, so.
All right, getting right along here. We've got a couple people that got kicked to the curb. The Reds released Will Myers. I think somebody's going to pick him up. If the Cubs were smart, I would probably fucking dump Mancini and pick up Will Myers instead.
Is Mancini doing bad? I was looking at
Mancini got pulled out of like the 3rd inning of the game the other day because he's just terrible on defense.
I think I did.
And his hitting hasn't been like through the roof either. But I mean, well, I could bring up the stats real quick.
Someone will pick up Will Myers.
Oh, fuck yeah. But what I'm saying to myself is, okay, which one's better, Mancini or Myers?
Depends what
Will
you
Myers
want,
does
right?
get
I
hurt
mean,
a lot. So he's batting 245 with 4 home runs for the Cubs. Got an on-base percentage of 317.
Mancini.
He's slugging 364.
Oh
You don't
boy.
want that out of first base. His OPS is 681. I think it's time that the Trey Mancini experiment is over with. Let's take a look at what Will Myers has to offer.
Mancini only plays first base and DH now, right? I mean, he doesn't play any outfield, right? I think he
Nah.
does qualify at left or right, but the Cubs
Yeah, they
didn't put
brought
him
him
out
up
there,
as
right?
an outfielder because they just wanted a spot for his bat. And, well, fucking Will Myers is batting 189. He's got an OPS of 541. 127 best.
It's
You know
bad,
what?
man.
Fuck both those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Will Myers, you were supposed to be this great prospect, and you were just. All right, another one gone is Denilson Lamet was released by the Colorado Rockies, so he's done.
The
See who
Brewers
he
included
lands
him in
with.
that deal, the Hader deal, and then they just released, last year. I just thought, like, this is something like the Rockies would do, like the things that don't make any sense, not the Brewers have been one of the dumbest teams or something like that, like the Rockies or the Mets, but that made no sense, right? I mean, unless there's something I don't understand, like why would you include Lamet in the deal and then drop him? It was within weeks they got rid of him, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make
it
any
was
sense.
like within a week.
Yeah. So unless there was some salary relief on the part of
Well,
the
he could have
Padres that
walked
they
in there
agreed
and
to
said,
that,
I
I don't
don't
get
want to
it.
be here.
I'm sure
Players
that
do that.
I'm sure he'd want to be on any major league team that would roster him, I mean,
Yeah, you never know. Kenta Maeda is back from the IL.
He had a good
And
start.
yeah. I always liked him as a pitcher, man. I had him for a year or two, and he was pretty solid.
yeah, he's been on my team. It's funny, like a lot
I
of
know
these
I
guys
traded
have
him
been
to
on
you.
like almost everybody's team at one point, right? I mean,
He had a really good start, I think, a couple days ago. I'm like, that guy just knows how to pitch. I mean, that's kind of like the Japanese guys because they
Yeah.
don't always throw 95, but they know how to pitch.
He's like a Japanese Hendricks.
Yeah. He throws a little harder, but
Jimi Hendrix.
yeah.
No, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Rockies prospect. This is sad for somebody. Zach Dean out for the year with hand surgery. Now
That's my guy.
that could wreck a prospect's career, man. I mean, hand surgery, is he going to come back from it? I mean, when you're dealing with your hands and you're batting, is he going to have those residual effects where his hands are going to he's going to feel pain every time he hits the ball?
he's a sombrero.
Yeah, he's my guy. I think it was a thumb.
That's for a hitter, that's a bad injury.
So, yeah, I have no idea.
When you got Veen, like, were you thinking about Colorado a little bit too, like hitting up there?
Well, he was a highly touted prospect coming out of college. And I mean, he
still
put up
is.
great numbers. I mean, he sucked this year, but they determined, well, his hand has been screwed up for a month or a year.
Huh. I know he's highly touted because I've heard of him. So that puts him in the upper few percentages, right?
But yeah, I mean, that could be nothing, and it could be a career ender.
Yeah. In a bad spot. Here's another young talent that just got activated up to 60-day. Matt Manning is going to be pitching for the Tigers again.
Man.
Twins signed Dallas Keuchel to a minor league contract. Welcome back, Dallas.
Dallas Keuchel? Who? The Twins? Oh boy.
Twins, yeah, signed him to a minor league deal. So we'll see.
If he does,
oh my gosh, he was so bad.
I don't see that. Unless the rest did him some good, I don't know.
The Red Sox's Reese Spanky McGuire is on the 10-day with an oblique.
Catcher? What is he?
He's a catcher. You know why I nicknamed him Spanky, right?
From the Little Rascals?
No, he got caught in a parking lot beaten off or some shit
Oh.
by a cop.
Well, come on, we've all been there.
No. A couple moves by Cleveland. They released Mike Zunino.
Yeah, I
So
saw that.
catchers out there for anybody who needs some help. And then Tristan McKenzie was shut down with a UCL sprain.
Yeah, that's there.
That's not good.
That's bad.
That sounds like Tommy John to come. You're just like kind of like waiting for a second opinion.
Yeah.
Tanner Houck. God. Apparently he got a comebacker in the face, and now he needs a plate in his face from that. So
That was ugly.
yeah.
I
I don't
didn't
like
see that
seeing
one.
that, man. That's just like that just makes me sick. That's why I can't watch videos of people fucking, uh like skateboarding, people cracking their skulls. You hear that fucking sound. Ugh,
Yeah.
fucking terrible. And then last but not least, this is Z out of A to Z here. Dodgers signed David Dull to a minor league deal.
I thought Zanino would be Z.
Nah, I didn't. I did it in order of going back a week.
David
So how about
Dahl.
that Angels huge game where they got 20-something fucking points? See that the other day?
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, they 25-0 or 25-1.
They
Mm.
scored 21
I had
runs.
the starting pitcher for the Angels that day.
Yeah, they had they had like 21 runs in 2 innings. Like between the third and the fourth inning, they were up 21-0. And then they
It's
tacked
scary,
on
like
like 3 more within like 2 more innings.
you know you're gonna get the win as long as he goes long enough, but then you're like, is he gonna let up and just pitch to the situation and get like 4 or 5 earned runs?
Yeah, he went like 6 innings with no runs. It was
Nice.
Griffin Canning. He was a highly touted prospect out of UCLA.
Yeah.
He's had his issues, but I rolled the dice on that game. It was at Colorado, and I'm like, all right, whatever. The Angels are kind of doing decent, so I'll let them go. Well, it panned out.
I sent a text, which probably annoys everybody to get a group text like I did, and took liberties there. But I picked up Patrick Sandoval. I think it was Friday on the waiver wire. I spent $3 on him, and then I put him. I knew he was starting, but I didn't notice where it was, and I was like, oh, it's in Colorado. It's like, first of all, I probably shouldn't have picked him up, but second of all, I certainly didn't need to spend $3 because no one else is going to be stupid enough to pick this guy up and have him his first start be in Colorado. But luckily, it was just a mediocre start. It was like 5 innings, 3 earned runs or something like that. But that could be. It's not like Patrick Sandoval is the greatest pitcher around, So that could have been bad.
When I pick up
I
pitchers,
actually streamed him last week.
You got the good start.
He had a good start.
Yeah, he had a good start.
if I get a good start
But I
out of
dropped him
somebody, I'll
because I
sit
knew
on
he
that
was
again
pitching
and
in
see if he's got a
Colorado.
couple in a row.
And you're like, there's guys in the league dumb enough. Like, let's say Lou. Lou will probably spend some of his fab budget on this guy, even though he's going to pitch in Colorado. Lou doesn't care about that, or maybe Lou just didn't realize it. I was like, these guys probably, they think I'm a maverick. Like I don't care. Colorado doesn't scare me. No, maybe just I didn't know until that night. I was like, oh, that wasn't a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Attention to detail, gentlemen. Attention to detail.
I know. It's hard to have attention to detail. There's too many distractions. Like getting your chickens fucking tore up. It's a bad thing. Speaking of which, I've got a list of 5 players that have fucked up names that played in baseball. I'm gonna bring them up here too and share the screen time to time here and try to do like this baseball reference and bring up their stats. And bring up the first one here. All right. The first guy name is Urban Shocker.
Urban Shocker, yeah.
Yeah,
That
the
name, yeah.
pitcher, especially known for his split finger pitch.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's timeless. He could come
He
up
had a pitch
nowadays
called
and
Taint Your Daddy's Drop Ball. But no, 25 years old at his debut, retired 37, had a lifetime WAR of 58.8, 187, 117 or 117 on the loss, but a career whip of 1.25. You know, he didn't strike out a whole lot.
he died young, huh?
When did he die? Oh yeah. So he must have got sick or something because as soon as he got out his last game, he died like 102 days later.
Got to find out how he died.
That's an interesting
Was
thing.
he a drinker?
It could be, could very well be.
You know, the Shockers came from a long line of risk takers, you know, so you know, you figure if his parents were conservative and all, they would have named him something very normal to balance out the strange last name, right? But they just went for it, man. They said, like, screw it. We're naming him Urban, man.
Yeah, because he's only given the shocker in a city area. All right.
That's a great name.
Yep. Next one. Well, I'll stop. All right. And I'm sorry to bring this one up,
Uh-oh, why is that?
Lou. I already had this guy in my on my list here, and
Matt?
he told me the fucking story and shit, and I'm like, oh man. So this guy's name is Chicken Wolf.
Oh,
He's
because of the chickens. Oh,
yeah.
I thought he was a Met.
So he's a right fielder, shortstop, first baseman. He died at 41 years old too. Well, this is back in 1903. I mean, he went way back. I mean, he was born during the Civil War.
Wow.
Debut at 19, last game at 30, died at 41.
Hmm.
His real name was William Van Winkelwolf.
Oh yeah, what was Urban Shocker's real name? Urban Shocker?
Yeah.
Oh god.
And these are like what they were called. This is on like
Chickens.
baseball reference. 17.5 on the WAR. Only had 18 career home runs. Batting average was tight. On base percentage is lacking. Slugging was non-existent. His OPS was But
118 OPS plus, Brian Kenny, you know? He was
yeah,
nearly 20% above the average player.
yeah, he was quick though. Had 186 stolen bases. That's why they called him Chicken. He can get across the road real quick.
Yeah, I think if they were trying to nickname me Chicken, I would have gone like, let's go for something else. What's the next one on the list here? I'm not digging Chicken.
All right, this is a guy who I don't really think he made the major leagues, but he was in the farm system, I think for Atlanta. But this is Wonder Mons. His full name really is Wonderful Terrific Mons. And these were his his minor league stats. But he was in the minor leagues from 93 to 99, 6 years. Wondermans gave up his baseball career after the age of 26.
He played in New Haven.
Yeah, drafted by
Eastern League.
Atlanta Braves in the 50th round.
That's 12 rounds before Piazza got taken.
Yeah, he was an outfielder. He was 6'3",
Different year,
215. That sounds like a power hitter. A wonderful, terrific Mons.
How many rounds are they limited to now?
I don't. I think it's like what 10 or 12. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it may be 7.
2020
I know
was
Burley was taken in like the 37th round.
See, here's the thing. We only see so much on TV, and then the rest of it is like after the fact.
but yeah, it's a lot less than it was. I don't know. I remember in 2020 it was really tiny, right? Like
Oh, it was like
5
10,
rounds or something.
or yeah, maybe 5. It was.
I don't know.
All right, this guy, he goes back to the 80s. Oakland A's.
I remember the 80s.
Yeah, we all lived through it. But this guy is Shooty Babbitt. Shooty Babbitt.
Judy Babbitt.
Shooty Babbitt.
Mac Neil Babbitt. Shooty.
Shooty. And he was
You like to shoot.
25th round for the 77. He made it. He got his cup of coffee. He had 156 at bats. Got a .3 WAR, 256. On base percentage was terrible. Everything was terrible. And Shooty only lasted to the age of 22 and got out of baseball.
You call him Shooty because I like to shoot. I don't care what it is.
Shooty Babbitt.
You might wonder why I got a southern accent. I'm from California, but it's just the way it is. When your name's Shooty Babbitt, you gotta adopt a little southern accent, little Ted Lasso.
He's still alive. Got out of baseball.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I don't like these guys dying at 28 and 41 and all that stuff.
And I got one more. Let's see here. All right, this sounds like a burlesque performer. This one is Pussy Thibault.
Oh. Well, he's
So
you got to
they
get.
didn't
You
know
got to
what
cut
he
him a little
bat. They
slack.
didn't know what he threw. It's unknown.
You got to cut him a little
5'10",
slack.
175. Goes back to 1870. If you got a baseball card of him, you probably got the only one. Died at 80 years old at 1950. That shows you how long Pussy goes back.
In his
I think
defense,
Pussy is ancient, isn't it?
they did not. Pussy did not have that kind of connotation back then. They
He
did not.
didn't play very long.
They did not
You know-
start calling cats that until like the 1930s. So
Well, this motherfucker was damn near Moonlight Graham, because I mean he had like only 6 at bats, but he had 3 hits, batted .500, 3 runs, 1 RBI, 1 stolen base, OBP of 625, slugging of 500, OPS 1.125.
185 OPS plus.
Yeah, he's probably got the best career stats of anybody out there hitting.
To compare him to Moonlight Graham is a real stretch because Moonlight
Well,
Graham.
Moonlight Graham only got 1 at bat.
Moonlight Graham would have sold one of his blue hats to have that kind of. We would have sold all the blue hats for that kind of a career, you know.
Unbelievable, though. All right, so that's all I get for that.
You know, modern day players, the favorite names that I can think of right now are the two I can think of right off the bat are I really like Socrates Brito, but I thought that's a great name, and I really like Archimedes Caminero. Aren't those good names? They're not funny, but I mean like they're cool, aren't they? I mean, you know, if you're at a high school graduation and they read off like Socrates Brito, you're gonna be, that's a cool name, you know.
Or a name like Spoonie Burger, Barger. Oh, so
Well, I could bring up the leaders real quick.
Sure.
If I can find them.
Oh, let me stop share here. Well, you do that. I gotta take this guy outside. Be right back.
You're gonna miss the boring
Oh,
segment.
we're gonna talk behind his back.
That's what I expect. We do record this, you know. I can always see what you say later.
But we'll be long gone by then. I think this is the right screen. I have no idea what I'm sharing. I can't see it. Oh, I'm sharing my files. That's great. No, that's not exciting. All right,
Nope.
let's try that. It should be here. Oh, I see it. I see it. This makes for good TV. Here we go. Am I doing it? Where is it? There it is. Oh boy, I'm so slow still. All right, are you seeing that? because Jeff's not here, I'll just skip right over all of his players. Won't even talk about it. No. Well, this is a good list to talk about because Sombreros have a bunch of guys here. You've got Acuna, who's top hitter, top player in all the league, and Corbin Carroll, who's number 5. That's got to very much exceed your expectations, right? You're thinking like this guy's good. You're not thinking like he's going to be the 5th overall hitter in late June.
I have you to thank for that.
I know. I had Carroll, Michael Harris, and Francisco Alvarez in my, and I had Elodie La Cruz, but because I won't play him because of the stupid conservative way I treat rookies, I'm always just trying to trade them away, and if I lose my chance, then I just lose them.
Well, it's not going to be any surprise that people that pay attention, I know in this league, but I'm kind of fucked for next year because I have so many X guys that are going to go for market value. I mean, I can franchise somebody, and at this point it'd probably be Acuna, but Carroll will go for market value. Rushman will go for market value because they're all X guys.
Because you didn't do a plus 11 or whatever on it?
Can you do that?
I don't know. What do you mean?
I mean, I can't. Like Rushman. I can't do the mini franchise on him.
What do you mean?
Well,
no, yeah, you would have had to have done it.
Yes,
before this year, yeah.
So I mean, all those guys are going to be X players.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, good for you.
So Rushman will be on the Gaggers for $60.
Yep, yeah, that's what I'm. You're going to outbid me on him.
And that's when he'll get hurt, and and you'll have like these 2 other guys I haven't heard of yet. But, it'll be.
I need Henry Davis to get whatever it is to qualify at catcher.
Oh yeah, you've got Davis too. Yeah, so you've got to be watching that intently because you know the difference between like Adley Rushman being like the first baseman as opposed to being the catcher. So
right.
If Davis is not catching, that's well, as long as he catches some while he's young.
But I don't think he's caught the game yet.
Oh, that's bad.
I mean, they want his bat in the lineup, but I don't think he started a game at catcher yet.
Yeah, that's bad. He only needs about 5 games started, I think. 10
I think
games
it's
played.
5 started, 10
5 started, 10 played. Man, he's gotta. Who's catching the bulk for Pittsburgh right now?
I have no idea.
Well, you got to hope that guy gets hurt. I don't know if you can do like a Nancy Kerrigan on him or something, like go to a Pirates game and be waiting there with your White Sox Billy Club. Well, anyways, but I just noticed that you got a couple of guys peeking off from under here. Jose Ramirez and Christian Walker. Both these guys are just, they're just great players. I like them both. Christian, I was just the 1 year you shouldn't have had Christian Walker was the year I had him. So. No. I don't think I even got him. I was angry I didn't get him because I didn't have enough money, and then he didn't have a good year anyway. But I don't know. I can't remember what happened. But yeah, he's good.
So I had India. I called that Rookie of the Year.
India?
I mean, he's on Let's Play, but.
Oh, okay. Is he on here? Oh, yeah, there he is. Jeez, yeah, look at Saints. Even Ketel Marte. That's a player I just gave up on. I know he was on the Gaggers.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys, I just do it by numbers, but I do have like a gut feeling about these players. And I think I thought Marte was a lot older than he was. And it wasn't that I was confusing with Starling. So I have my gut.
There's a lot of platinum sombreros in the top 25.
Yeah, look at that. Because the Jose Ramirez and Walker are back up here. And look at Corbin Carroll, number 5. And of course, Acuna, number 1. That's nice. Shohei, number 2. Freddie Freeman. But Satch has got Olsen and Ketel Marte and Goldschmidt. Devers is not even up here. You know, I'm sure he's not too far below. How about the daddies? We got Juan Soto, Adolis.
Yeah, we had Pete Alonso up there for a little bit until he got plunked after he was
Right.
talking shit. And he got hit on purpose. They hit him right in the fucking hand,
Yeah.
assholes. He was talking smack the game before, so I get it. Don't talk smack like that if you don't want to get hit.
Why did I think that Adolis was more of a fielding outfielder and not much of a hitter? Was that?
Oh no, he's like a fucking clubber, man. He hits home
But I mean, like
runs.
before, let's say last year, maybe like 2 years ago, was that the scouting report on him?
I've got him ever since he went over to Texas, and he has been aces.
Because I didn't believe in him at all. Like even when he had that good year, I was like, yeah, but look at this. This is
I just keep hanging on to him as long as he's been good, and he's been great.
I thought he was field first when he was a prospect.
Is that what I remember? Because like I didn't take him seriously for our league anyway. And you miss.
Well, neither did the Cardinals because he got two guys right there, number 11, number 13, that were ex-Cardinals. They left around the same time too. They could have had them in the same outfield.
Adolis was a Cardinal too. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, they were at the Cardinals at the same time.
They've lost so many prospects that I can't even keep track of it now.
So. It's
Arozarena, he kind of screwed over the clubhouse. He was an outcast because he videotaped shit going on in the clubhouse.
Oh no shit. Okay.
So he was.
So it's not like they wanted to get rid of him; they had to.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically ostracized.
And he posted it to social media or something?
Yeah. Oh, he put it like on Twitter. He videotaped their coach when they clinched. And the coach, I can't remember who the manager was. He's not there anymore. It wasn't Matheny. Was there one between Matheny and their current guy? I don't know. Whatever. He videotaped it, and there was like a million F-bombs, and he posted it all over.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
It was an innocent mistake by a young kid.
Well, yes.
They're all about the fucking social media these days. I mean, it's just like you can't blame the guy and just ostracize the fuck out of him. He just made a mistake.
It probably is a little bit like old versus young, right? Because like young, that's like normal. But if you're old and like there's a video of you, like that's got to be carefully selected, right? I mean, like we don't live like that, So
well, I can attest to one thing is that it was probably Miggy or not Miggy, what's his fucking name? Molina that was the one behind ostracizing him and shit because he was kind of the team leader and how he fucking thinks about things. The rest of the team kind of follows. Boy, do they miss that guy, huh?
Yeah, they really do. Like, I mean, he wasn't even hitting too much, down the stretch there. And he had
it's just his mere presence though in that locker room.
Well, it's just like the pitching staff, right? God,
yeah.
I remember Molina when he beat the Mets in 2006. It was Molina and Wainwright that both had, Molina hit a homer and Wainwright got the last strikeout on Beltran, watching the third strike. And I was so pissed off because Molina to me was like some 233 hitting catcher. Who the hell is this guy? And then Wainwright was a young guy too. So it made me feel a little bit better as the years went on that like, okay, Molina was actually, a good player, and Wainwright was a good pitcher too. So like it made me feel a little bit better. But remember, Molina was like not a hitter at all when he came up, and then in his peak, he became a pretty good offensive catcher. Maybe not the best, but pretty good. And then toward the end here, he was kind of a liability as a hitter. But even so, if he hit 233 and had 4 homers, he probably would still be helpful to that team based on what's happened right now. Because you've got pitchers that they need something and they're not getting it. So that Contreras signing, I admit, I thought it was a good signing because Molina was leaving and they needed a catcher, but it hasn't worked out like that too well.
Harris is not a good catcher. He's not a good receiver. I mean, he can hit and stuff like that. He's more apt to be a fucking third baseman or a left fielder.
Yeah, and they signed him for catcher money. You know, like you
Yeah.
can get his offensive production, you know, all over the place as long as it's not a catcher. You know.
Wilson Contreras was a converted shortstop. He didn't come up as a catcher. He was a shortstop.
Yeah. Well, I think
And
all
they,
those guys, a lot of those guys that are in the majors now were playing shortstop at one time, right? They were always
yeah,
the best player in their team. They were playing short.
as long as they weren't left-handed.
Yeah.
Well, Buster
Oh, it-
Posey was a shortstop at Florida State.
Who?
Buster Posey.
Oh,
I mean, he's going into the Hall of Fame.
yeah. Well, so many of these guys. I mean, DeGrom was a shortstop. You know.
Yep. He went to a tiny school too, didn't he? Out by you.
DeGrom?
Yeah. He
I
went to
know-
like Dartmouth or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't know. I mean, I know Josiah Gray went to Lemoyne in upstate New York near Syracuse. He was a converted, you know, shortstop too. He wasn't brought up as a pitcher. That's why I always kind of held out some hope for Josiah, because he's not a guy that's been pitching forever.
Hey, can you organize them by just current instead of fantasy points? Because I mean, some of these guys, I mean, they get rated a little higher because they haven't had as many at bats because maybe an injury here or there. But so that jumps up.
It looks about the same, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same except Jose Ramirez just leapfrog Jonathan India.
So what is this one based on? Does it give you replacement level when you're hurt or something? I don't.
Well, I mean, it's just like you got some guys in there with 327 at bats. It's just how they're performing, like where they're at as far as like points per game played. So that's like their current ranking.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, sometimes the current ranking doesn't even follow what's like the total fantasy
Yeah,
points.
I think I thought that this was the same as this, but I know when we were with Norm, he pointed out I had it sorted by this just because that's what it does by default. I didn't click on this, and he said that some of these numbers were jumbled.
Yeah.
But so I guess it is different. I just can't figure out what it is. I bet you Phil knows, right? So,
Well, when I look to pick up somebody, I just look at the last 14 days. I'm looking for someone who's on a
Yep.
hot streak.
Yep. Or last 7.
Yeah.
Because, 14 days, they could stop after 14 days and you pick them up and all of a sudden it's like, wah, wah, this guy just had 3 zeros in a row.
Yeah.
Done that.
I never pick up guys based on the last 14. And I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. If anything, I'm saying like, maybe the Lou way is not the greatest. But last
So this
14,
is the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, just last 14, and let's just look
Wow.
at points. I don't know if it's any different. But Shohei's on top. Ketel Marte, Christian Walker. Okay, yeah. So Sombrero's got Acuna and Christian Walker.
I got one guy there.
Look at this, Michael Harris, who was a disaster that I dropped last year, and I was feeling, well, at least he's not doing well this year. Well, he's coming on a little bit, isn't he? The Braves have a 15-game lead over the Mets before tonight's game started.
Wow.
Last year, the Mets were up 10.5 on June 1st, and this idiot who's on SNY here in New York, Sal Licata, I shouldn't even give his name any recognition. The guy's a moron. And he said, "That's it. The NL East is over." And when he said that, I was like, not out of, I don't believe in like jinxing. I just mean like it's just an idiotic statement, And how wrong could he? How could he be? Now he's making a joke of it, but the joke is that you're a moron. You're on TV, you're getting paid a ton of money, and you're an idiot. And I don't watch.
Well, at least the Mets aren't in last place. I mean, they've got Washington behind them, so.
But yeah, that division. So the Mets are 5-15 over the last 20, and I think the Braves are like.
Yeah, they're on a rough roll.
16. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're 15.
It all started when fucking Verlander and Scherzer got back. Like the rest of the team relaxed, thinking they were just going to carry it.
Yeah, since April 22nd or something, they said the Mets are 21-35. That's 3-5. That's 375%. This team with this ridiculous payroll. I mean, it is just the worst thing to be a fan of this team because like they're doing so little with so much.
They need to fucking just tear it down and fucking trade off. I mean, get rid of Sure. I don't know who's going to take the fucking contracts now.
Isn't that the highest payroll in history?
I think so.
Yeah, in baseball history. I mean, you're saying all sports, you mean?
Baseball, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, of course. First team that's gone over 300, right?
Atlanta is 50-27 at this point right now. I mean, they're on pace to go for like a 110 win season if they wanted.
The Mets, they needed a GM and they lost out on some opportunities that offseason when they didn't have a GM yet.
Remember when they hired that fucking Asian to be their GM?
Yeah. And they got Epler because he had been a GM, so he's a real guy. But he's not very good, is he? I mean, he's the one, he left the Angels. He's the one that brought in Rendon.
Oh boy.
This player who, he was on the Gaggers, and I know what kind of player he was. He was a good player, and he had this fantastic year. That's the last guy you want to sign is off of a year like that because he's not going to do as well. I mean, and of course, it's turned out 100 times worse than you could have imagined because he hasn't even played. But
is Alderson still there?
He's like Billy Beane. He's like some high up position. I think he's still there officially, but he's not doing anything. But he was fine. He was no magician, but I mean, he's not an idiot. Like Epler's basically an idiot. I think the only thing Epler has that has some value is that he's got a lot of experience with like the Japan, the Japanese players and things like that. Like Shohei, I think he was in LA when they brought Shohei. But it takes no talent to spend a ton of money on players coming off big years. I mean, that's not like, that doesn't mean you're like you know what I mean? Like he's not good at his job, and he won't be the GM a year from now. I mean, they'll have to get rid of him because he's just not good. And the Rendon thing, that should have been a clue, right? I mean, that should have been like, but maybe he's not so smart. Maybe we want somebody a little smart.
Hey, let's take a look at the pitching.
Yeah. I'll figure out a way I can bitch about the Mets with this one too.
I'm seeing enough stuff online of other people bitching about the Mets. I know it's not going very well. There's some really irate fans out there. Kind of like what the White Sox fans were doing at the first part of this season.
How's Diaz doing for you?
What?
I said, how's Diaz doing for you?
Oh man. But that's not in the realm of the completely stupid moves. I wouldn't put that in there. Although he did have his best year last year. I mean, like he's not going to.
I get that. I was just teasing you.
No. I mean.
But you have to.
I'm saying I'm not even faulting them for that. I don't want to be completely like, 2020 hindsight about this. I want to, I'm just talking about things that didn't make sense at the time. If things don't work out, the guy gets hurt. I think that's real. I don't know. Sour.
I still think Kalenic is going to be a really good player someday.
Yeah, that guy's got some power.
Well, I talked about this before in the podcast. I don't want to keep going on the same stuff, but I mean that trade was ridiculous from the outset because to take on Cano's contract, they would have given Diaz to the Mets. So like that would have been the trade. We'll give you Cano and Diaz. That's it. And the Mariners would have been like, let's do that. And the Mets would have been like, okay. But the Mets decided, no, we need to. We'll sweeten the pot a little bit. We'll throw in Kelenic and Dunn. I mean, it just made no sense. You don't do both. You take on salary or you give up prospects, not both.
Right.
Oh, just disgusting. My team is one of the dumbest teams in baseball. I mean, here's how I put them. I put the Angels, the Mets, and the Rockies. I think those are the three, maybe even the White Sox. Might be the four dumbest teams in baseball. Tell me a team that's dumber than those four teams. I'll listen. Maybe you want to say the Red Sox because they got rid
The
of
one
that.
thing I'm going to say is you really can't blame your owner if he's willing to shell out that type of cash. You just got to. This is more of a general manager, president of the team type of thing.
But how did this guy that made $17 billion, he couldn't have been this stupid in the business world, right? I mean, he had to.
No, he's given, here's the thing. He's got all that money and shit, but he doesn't know shit from Chinola from baseball. He just wants to own a team. So he lets the baseball people handle it, pays them to do it, and they fuck it up.
I'm assuming he's a smart guy. Did maybe these really rich guys were just in the perfect situation and they're not that smart? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would think, what is he, a hedge fund manager? I would think that guy would know that, Billy Epler, I don't think I'd hire him on my mutual fund team, so I don't know.
No, I agree with Jeff there, though. They kind of are taking a back seat and think that they're hiring baseball people, but they're hiring baseball people that don't know shit from Shinola. And that's where they're getting burned.
Yeah.
I mean, if these guys would even take it seriously, just assume, it's a big given. But if we had, what's it, Rick Hahn? Is that his name? If we had Rick Hahn, Billy Epler,
I think they're the same guy. He's just fucking flying back and forth from Chicago to New York.
But I'm saying, if we had those guys in the beer league, how would they do? I mean,
well, they wouldn't have a job.
I know they know tons more about some things than I'll ever know. I don't even know the things I don't know. But just at their core, these guys are not very talented at assessing anything, right? I mean, spending money.
Well, they're getting a lot of shit wrong.
I don't know about the other people, but for Rick Hahn, he was a finance guy. He was the one who negotiated their contracts. And all of a sudden he became GM. Well, that doesn't mean he knows shit about scouting a player or anything.
And what scouts did he hire?
Well, then that's a whole nother issue because they have a small scouting department. Jerry is tighter. He throws manholes around like nickels. I mean,
But Sean, you're neglecting to mention that he had Kenny Williams to fall back on and all his expertise.
That's the other thing too. Those guys, he's too loyal to these fucking guys, man. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's part of the thing. Rick Hahn can't take a piss without getting a hall pass from Jerry and Kenny.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much Rick Hahn is actually at fault.
He's just in the wrong position. He should be a consultant to the GM.
Yes.
And the GM
and he
should
not
not
go
be
back
Kenny,
to like
GM should not be Kenny Williams. What would you
because
say?
he actually signed these guys to some decent deals.
I think both sides need to tear it down and rebuild. Strip it all the way to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, but the problem
There's many good prospects in the top 100 you can off of other teams looking for fucking either rentals or 1 or 2 year players. Like even trading Nimmo, he's worth something. You can get a good haul of like prospects for him.
Oh, for the Mets?
Yeah. Trade fucking fucking Alonso. Trade fucking Scherzer and Verlander if you can get anything for them.
I mean, I see the Scherzer Verlander thing, but I don't see the Mets doing that. I think that they're just tethered to this thing for this year and next year. I don't see him doing Nimmo and Alonso.
I think since you're doing so bad this year already, you're going to get a higher draft pick. You might as well start that process of getting a couple of years of high draft picks to get, and then not pay so much for a little bit, build that shit up and fucking release it, and just build the team up really quick again.
Here's the trade. Verlander and Scherzer to the Angels for nothing. You stock my soda machine for 3 years and we're even.
You guys get Rendon.
That's what they would do.
If we're going to take that, you get Rendon and who else?
Did Nimmo just get signed this year to a big extension?
Yeah, 8 years, 162, I think it was.
Yeah, and he's not playing it for shit like you did before.
He's doing fine. I mean, like that. He's not the problem.
I
No, I
wanted
know
the
he's not.
Sox to get him
I
instead
know.
of Benintendi, but they weren't going to pay 166 million.
Yeah, Benintendi's never really like he doesn't blow me away.
But they gave Benintendi a lot, right? Or was it just 75? What was it?
They only
Yeah,
it
like
was a
4
3-year
for
deal,
80.
wasn't it?
It's like 4 for 80, maybe
Yeah.
75.
Yeah.
Five. I thought it was 5 years. 575. Is that what it was? I thought it was
It's not
worse
a
than that.
5-year deal. Hold on a second. I'll look this shit up.
I
I've
think
got
it's 5 for
baseball reference
75
up and going.
or 85, but maybe it is just 75.
All right. Andrew Benintendi. Let's go down to his
The Yankees
okay.
wanted him. The Yankees
He is
wanted him in
signed
probably.
for 5 years. And let's do the math on this fucking shit here.
75 divided by 5. What is it?
Okay, so he's got 66.4 owed to him in the future and add 8.6 onto that, 75. 75 million, 5 years, 75 million.
It's
So
not the worst deal.
no, it's
The problem is the years. Like the Yankees, I think we're looking at 3 years, and then the White Sox came with 5.
but here's
So
the
he
thing
just
though,
left.
when he's done with his contract, he's still 32. So he's getting his contract at 28.
Yeah, it's not the worst deal. I mean, it's not in the. You know, it's not terrible. It's not really Rendon.
No, but who knows, man? He might be one of them late bloomers, and all of a sudden he's getting batting titles and shit. Seen it happen before.
It's just that Benintendi is like a good fourth outfielder, right? Or a starting outfielder on maybe not such a great team. So
Yeah,
if
he
that's
just
worth
doesn't have enough.
75 to you, then I guess that's fine.
For an outfielder, he just doesn't have enough power. He's more of a center fielder, but he can't really play center field.
Yeah. He's a single hitting left fielder.
Yeah,
If he
little
could
doubles
catch,
guy, fucking 10,
Yeah.
15 home runs a year.
if he
It's
could
not
play
really what you
catcher,
want.
then that would be good.
He can play second base.
If he played this excellent shortstop with his
Yeah,
numbers,
right. Wasn't he originally a third baseman coming in though?
I
don't think as a lefty.
No, you're right.
I think he went to Arkansas. He played center in college.
Interesting.
Ray Charles said, tell your ma, tell your pa, I'm going to send you back to Arkansas.
So what are the Cubs going to do with Stroman? He's up here number 2.
Well, they were talking about being buyers, man. I don't know.
They're going to have to extend him because he's going to opt out.
Oh, he will opt out if they don't extend him. But I mean, here's the thing though. Do they just let him opt out and then use that money to go after Shohei Ohtani after the season?
Isn't he going to be a Dodger? Ohtani?
They want to trade for him, yeah, but he's going to go to the free market.
Well, I'm
You'd
saying
be an idiot
I
not
think
to. If you're his
Ohtani's going to.
agent, you just like sign something with one team and not create a bidding war for him. That would be stupid. He's like at the prime and like doing everything. He's like the best player in baseball.
But I think he wants to stay on the West Coast, and the Dodgers got under that penalty cap.
I think he's going to look at it as this is his one true contract. He'll go play it anywhere. And when his fucking seasons start getting up and he's not going to be playing much anymore, he's going to go back to Japan and finish his career out.
Sean, I just want to hear, what's your opinion of Ohtani? Like, I think that I'm, lower on his prospects going forward than I guess anybody else in the league. And it's not based on that I don't think he's a good and that he's amazing. But don't you think playing both sides, doesn't that like increase his chances by, I don't know, 50% that he's going to get hurt?
He's just a pitcher that hits. He doesn't play the field. I mean, it's like he's basically just being like a National League hitting pitcher.
I mean, it's going to take what? At least 500 million. I've even heard 600 million to sign him. And I'm just curious what you think, Sean. What if you want him for the White Sox if they could sign him for 600 million? I know it's not your money, but I mean,
No,
but,
because that would just blow their budget way out of whack because they're not going to spend like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets. But I honestly believe he's the most valuable player in the game.
he's also 28 right now. So, I mean,
I
you're
mean,
going to set
to
up for
pitch like
$600
he
million.
does,
I mean, that's got to be like, even at 10 years, that's 60 million a year.
I mean, just to, as from maybe not a fantasy perspective, but in real life baseball, he's the most valuable player in the game.
Yep.
Would you rather have him at 60 or even let's say 50? Would you rather have him at 50 or two guys at 25? See, I'm more inclined to do the two guys at 25. I mean, as long as the WAR numbers add up or whatever, you know.
But I don't know who you get at 25 anymore, because if you're paying $20 million to Benintendi,
15.
no, I don't want
15.
that.
15.
Well, here's the thing: if Shohei Ohtani gets $60 million, then mediocre motherfuckers are going to start making 25. So there's going to be a shift in, and then we're going to be paying fucking $30 for a hot dog.
And Shohei, he does pitch on a normal rotation. He's doing like a normal 5-man rotation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He just DHs every day.
I mean, it's obviously amazing, but I would just let somebody else do it. I would let another team do it.
Oh, I fucking want
Well,
that.
I would not spend $60 million on it.
No. He's lucky if he gets 40 million. 40 million is like the most anybody's ever made. I don't think anybody's making 40 million.
Verlander and Scherzer are making 43.
Are they really?
Howard got 40 something. I mean, he's gonna make 50 million. That's the minimum. And he's young enough. He's gonna command 10 years, right? Because I mean, Judge got what 9 years at the age of 31. So that's what I mean. I don't like. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket kind of thing, right? If you sign two guys for Shohei money, one of them goes down. One of them goes down. You still have the other one, you know.
No, I agree with that. I mean, what did Freddie Freeman get?
20 something. I mean, he didn't get that. He didn't get a ton, right?
I'll look it up.
So take Freddie Freeman and Matt
Olson.
He
got 27, 28. I could be wrong. It could be higher than that, but I thought it was under 30, which I thought was all right.
Well, that's to your point. I mean, I understand they play.
He's got 27 million a year for 6 years.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me. Even I would spend that, you know, if I had the money. I mean, you don't have that kind of money.
Give me Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson instead of Shohei. I understand they play the same position. So
Freddie will play third. That's what he offered to do with the Braves, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he can play third, but
who did they bring in that year to play first when he was hurt, and then when he came back, he said he offered to play third. That was the same year the Mets had Asdrubal, and when the Mets went to go trade for a shortstop, and they were going to move him to second, he demanded a trade, and that's when he fell off the Lou St. John list. I went to a game about a week after that, and it was stupid Asdrubal Cabrera bobblehead day, and we got 3 of those effing bobbleheads that I.
Did they bring in Ozuna?
No, was it somebody else? Who was it? Freeman got hurt, and he came back later in the year, and they brought in a first baseman. And then when Freeman was healthy, he offered to move to third, and I was like, so that's the difference between Asdrubal and Freddie Freeman. Freddie, this guy's doing well. I'll play third. Asdrubal's like, this is my manhood you're talking about. I demand, such a bullshitter. Off the team.
It's Asdrubal, by the way.
What?
Asdrubal. Yeah.
Asdrubal.
Yeah. You're off.
Hey, you know how much Trout makes?
Trout 32. I don't know.
37 a year. Yeah, he makes 37 a year. I don't know. Shohei's probably going to go for around 45 a year. And I think it's going to be more like a 6-year contract or a 7-year contract.
There's no way. We'll have a recorded evidence of this. There's no way he's going to get paid $45 million a year next year.
You don't think so?
Even that, I might be in on that. You know, if that's all it took. How's it
Well,
gonna?
I mean,
How's he
the
gonna get
highest salaries.
45 when Verlander and Scherzer are getting 43.3 and Bauer got 40 something
Bauer?
and Judge has got 40? How
Bauer
is
ain't getting
Shohei gonna
shit
get
now.
45? It's not gonna happen. I don't even think he's gonna get 50.
Bauer got paid in Japan. I don't know what he's making, but he got some good money.
I thought he was playing. Is he playing Japan or Korea?
Well, one or the other. I don't know.
He's over there. All right, I'm gonna look up the highest paid baseball players to date, like per year.
Just
We're
look
gonna
up the. May as well just look at Spot Track, the Mets roster. You'll get most of what you want there.
All right, for this year, it's the 50 biggest. Rare.
Look at Merrill Kelly still up there.
Oh, Merrill and Evaldi. Well, McClanahan's still on top for the McBrides. So that was
Okay.
that was a good match. Good idea.
So the two top paid players in the whole league are exactly paid the same.
43.3. Verlander and Scherzer on the
43, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 for both Verlander and Scherzer. Game
money well
exactly the
spent.
same shit.
Verlander had a 4.5 ERA coming into tonight, and Scherzer is like low fours.
Yep.
So
Aaron
that's worth
Judge
it.
after that.
And they haven't pitched the whole season. So, you know, you got that going for you.
Aaron Judge after that's 40. Rendon, 38.5.
You know, that deal is the one that the Mets said, like, that is such a good deal. Let's hire that guy as our GM because this guy knows what he's doing. He's no beer league GM. He knows what he's doing.
They got him.
That takes talent to overpay for high profile baseball players.
And they got him for this year and another 3 years. So that's the reason why they're not gonna be able to afford Ohtani. Mike Trout, you know what? They might as well trade Trout right now, too, to be honest with you. You know, the Angels is one of those teams that should just burn it down and build it back up. But I mean, it's like,
they should burn it down, but they aren't going to build it back up. I mean,
you know, Garrett Cole.
They have a chance at the playoffs, though, so they ain't burning it down.
No.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to share the screen on this because you guys should be seeing what I'm seeing. Hold on a second.
Years ago, I read a chapter. I think it was in Hardball Times about the value of making the playoffs to baseball teams.
You guys see this?
Winning the World Series and making the playoffs, and there's a real tangible dollar value to that. So the Angels, I'm sure, if they even fear that they're not going to get Ohtani next year, they want to like go out with some sort of a bang. If it involves short-term rentals, they'll probably go all in. And most teams don't go all in just to make the playoffs, but they might, in their situation.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Number one, not earning his money. Number two, not earning his money. Number three, on the injury list, not earning his money. Number four, not earning his money. Number five, earned his money. Number six, earned his money.
You got to give us the names, though.
Oh, that's called Garrett Cole. Will you see my hand right there?
No.
Oh, you can't see that?
I don't think he shared it.
Oh, I'm stopping. I'll have to stop my.
Okay.
Okay. I stopped my share. Oh, I see. Yeah, Judge, Rendon, Trout.
Okay, so yeah, so not earning right now, not earning his money right now. Trout earning his money. Garrett Cole, he's doing great. Corey Seager's doing great this year. Carlos Correa not earning his money. Nolan Arenado underperforming. Steven Strasburg, what a fucking joke.
So
Lindor,
you're saying that Strasburg is not earning his money? I just want to be clear. Okay.
Carlos Stanton, where the fuck's he been this year?
Lindor.
Not earning his money. Miguel Cabrera, not earning his money. Bregman, I don't think he's worth 30 million. Shohei at 30 million, I say he's earning his money plus some. DeGrom, I don't think he's earning 30 million. Sorry. Altuve, yeah. Chris Bryant, no. Bryce Harper, yes. Trey Turner, yes.
You want to know, you could easily be an above average GM in baseball if you just like gave your girlfriend or your wife the instructions. Don't sign anybody for more than 5 years and no one for more than 28 million a year. And they would do a better job, than most of the GMs out there, because look at the mistakes you make. Almost every time. I mean, you can point to Scherzer when he went to the Nationals. That worked out.
Well, here's your
But
team right here. Here's what
look at these.
here's who you're paying, man.
Kodai Senga, another bone to pick as a Mets fan. So the Mets bring in
Why do they got Brandon Nimmo as a right-handed
They bring
pitcher?
in two old guys to anchor the rotation. There's risk involved there, right? Injury risk. They might just fall off a cliff and lose their effectiveness, which we might be witnessing right now. So they decide, how do we best combat that risk? Let's bring a guy in from Japan. Let's just add another little layer of risk to what we're doing. Like, let's not bring Bassett back or Taiwan Walker. Let's bring in this guy from Japan. It just makes no sense, especially in the Mets situation. They were already risky, and they decided, let's just keep another little element of risk on here.
Hey, isn't Jose Quintana? Is he still hurt?
Yeah. Supposedly he's going to be coming back very soon, I guess.
Cody Senga?
Yeah, I mean, he's pitched fine, but it was an unnecessary risk.
You got these four guys right here, and if you want to keep this fucking guy, you're going to have to pay up. And it's going to be at the expense of one of these fucking four top ones here.
Well, luckily, the money is not an issue to him, but I mean, he can't be this stupid though with his money, like Scherzer and Verlander, that's fine. After next year, it'd just be a bad memory. But you're going to have Lindor for a long time, to 2031 or something. How many years has he got left? I mean, 31. Okay, 2031. I mean, that's an awful thing. If he's not going to turn around, he did well last year, and this year he's like, his fielding is close to average. You want to call it above average, but it's not like great, and his hitting is like league average. And this is what you're paying 34 million to 32. Oh my God, it's just disgusting.
You want to see a huge difference here? Watch this jump. Okay, we're at 43 at the top here. In a top 7, we're only down to 15 million, 16 million. Here's the White Sox have to offer. Oh, you cheap fucks. They've got a fucking half-ass catcher as their top fucking like earner almost, and then a bad.
Hey, he's the lollygagger's third string catcher. Don't badmouth him.
Third string. God, you moved him up.
I love Grandal.
Yohan Moncada fucking not earning his money. This guy got sick. I can't say.
Yeah, but not earning his money, it starts at 18. That's a whole lot better than 43, 43.
I know, but even then, it's like, this is how bad this shit is.
These salaries
Giolito, I would say, would earn his money. Eloy Jimenez here at 10 million is not earning his fucking money. Tim Anderson's not earning his money. These guys are always hurt. There's always something wrong with them. Fucking drives me nuts. Luis Robert, 9.5. I wouldn't even say he's earning his money.
He's got 21.
Probably earning his money. But Clevenger's hurt.
What is this number?
Joe Kelly's
remaining for this year?
This is this year.
But I mean, Benintendi's making 15, I thought.
What did it say here? Well, you know what? No, it probably fucking jumps up, and the whole contract together averages.
He probably backloaded it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's not prorated, because those guys aren't making.
Yeah. See, he's got 5 years. Look at this: 5 years, 75 million. So this is what he's making this year. Now that's going to go up next year.
Well, that's like Moncada. They said he's untradeable because in like 2-3 years he's going to be making 25 million.
Yeah.
So they backloaded a bunch of these deals.
He's going to be like one of them hanger-ons, part of a trade. He's
Well, I
got
don't
5
know if
more
they
years
can
to go.
trade it.
Well, I mean, if somebody wants somebody really good off of us, you got to take Moncada along with them. But man, they're just dismal.
I think Giolito will be traded at the deadline.
I think Giolito goes. Reynaldo Lopez, they can fucking throw him in a trash bin. Dylan Cease might be gone.
He might be.
They might trade Luis Robertson, try to get something for him. I mean, a lot of these guys are Eloy Jimenez, if they can fucking get a bag of balls for him right now. Tim Anderson's not. Everybody on this list is tradable.
Except
And
you've
I
been
think
selling
the
low
White
on
Sox
almost
need
all
to
of
just
them,
start from scratch. But you know what? Before they do that, though, they need to get rid of everybody in the fucking front office.
Well,
I don't know.
not to be morbid, but Jerry just needs to die.
That's what we used to say about Bill Wirtz and the Blackhawks, and look where that got us.
Yeah.
I disagree.
For a little while.
I think you just need to bring LaRussa back. I think he could come. He could stabilize this whole thing.
LaRussa's a sick man. You know, not to get off the subject of baseball for a second, though, but a big thing happened in hockey today for the Blackhawks. I don't know if you saw this, Sean, but the Blackhawks traded a couple minor leaguers for Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno.
I did see that.
What a fucking great move that was. Basically, they needed to make the minimum salary in the league, so they had to take on salary, and they gave up hardly anything for a couple of all-stars. I mean, granted, one's 31, the other one's 35, but you need some older guys around there that have had like championship experience, playoff experience that can be like the leaders in the locker room.
No, exactly.
I think that's a great move.
I mean, whatever this rookie they're going to get, I don't know a whole lot about him other than they said he's like a generational talent.
His name is Connor Bedard, and he's fucking the shit, man. He is a man among boys, and he's only 17 years old.
I mean,
he will be up in the first year. He will be playing like from day one.
They compared him to the guy from Edmonton.
Maybe even better. There's a couple guys that played in Edmonton. He might be in between both of those.
Connor McDavid and what's the other guy's name?
Yeah, McDavid.
That guy's a monster.
Yeah, there's a reason why everybody was mad at the Blackhawks. Let's put it that way. There was people out there pissed. It's rigged. It's rigged. And then they showed the video of how they did the damn thing. And they were just like, okay, fuck.
That video was rigged. This whole courtroom's out of order. You're out of order.
Oh, they probably had some lip readers. All right, whatever the team we want to see here. Why don't we take a look at the Cubs?
Ohtani went deep. Off Dylan Cease.
Yeah, he sucks. I mean, Ohtani sucks.
Yeah. All right, Cubs. You got Marcus Stroman right there at $25 million. So, be honest with you, though, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst idea for them to trade him for a couple of really good prospects. That way, you have, and then you can go out and get another pitcher on the fucking market next year, especially if you're going after Ohtani. So, $25 million right there. If you had another 25 onto that, you probably got what you're going to pay Ohtani, and then you've got an extra hitter.
I guess that's higher than I thought. I've been saying that the Cubs will hold on to him because they could win the division, but maybe what Stroman's looking for is going to be too high. You know, yeah. I think he's very good, and he's seems to, you know, Wrigley seems to be a good fit for him, but maybe it's just too high, right? I mean, it all comes down to him. He does seem like the kind of guy that would not be the easiest to negotiate with. I know it's through.
He also seems like a kind of annoying fucking dude.
Yeah, I'd say
he's made waves wherever he's gone. I mean, a little bit here and there.
Probably kind of annoying, yeah.
If you look at this, I mean, Seiya Suzuki, 18 million. That's not too bad. He's actually okay. Stroman's been earning his money. Suzuki's been pretty much earning his money. Kyle Hendricks came back, and for $14 million for the last 2-3 starts, he's earning his fucking money.
So the Cubs signed Stroman for
But
3
then
years.
Dansby Swanson is only
3 years at
14 million
25
a
a
year
year.
this year. What's that?
The Cubs
$20 million a year
signed
this year. What's that?
Stroman in free agency for 3 years. It's at 25 a year.
Just under 71 million.
Okay,
But he's making 25 this year and probably 25
yeah, I
next
guess
year.
that was higher than I thought. Yeah, that's if he's looking for more than that, that's a tough sell, right? I mean,
Fuck yeah. But he is pitching well, man. I mean, he's really playing it. But it's like, okay, once you give him that fucking 5-6 year contract, what does he do then? You know, this all a ploy to be
If
able
he
to.
opts out, I could see him getting 4/100, maybe 4/110.
you
No,
got
he's
to
going to want
remember,
more than that, though. He's gonna hold out.
you got to remember the Mets are out of the bidding on this, so that's going to bring his salary down about 10 million right there. So,
But I think Dansby Swanson for fucking 14 million this year is a great deal.
you mean
That's
Swansby?
got to go up
Tyon
because
right
I thought
now,
that was like $170 million deal.
it is 177. So this is going to be like kind of arch up and shit.
You mean Swansby?
Yeah.
Remember Kimmler called him Swansby?
Swansby.
No, average 25.
Swansby dancing.
So whatever, he's gonna. That's backloaded because the average is 25.
Yeah. So
you got that to look forward to. That's good.
yeah.
But and that's a Tony La Russa special. He was on Arizona.
Now Hosmer, he was 13 million. They fucking DFA'd him. He didn't have an 8-year contract for 144. Oh no, that's what
That's from
they picked up off waivers
San Diego.
and shit. Yeah.
No, Swanson was on Arizona. Tony La Russa didn't think he was worth shit, and he traded him to Atlanta for Shelby Miller.
Yeah, what a fucking dumb move.
And in Ciarte,
Ciarte, yeah.
Atlanta got both of those guys for Shelby Miller, who never amounted to shit.
Yeah, he was always hurt. Always had shoulder issues.
La Russa felt so bad about that deal. He went out to this Mexican restaurant in Florida, had a bunch of margaritas, and then he fell asleep
Passed out at
on
the
the steering wheel at the intersection. The police knocked on the door. They're like, "Aren't you Tony La Russa? You should wake up. You're at an intersection." But I think he was showing his team, like, the way that professionals go about their business. So,
hey, so check out this
he's a
right
leader. He's
here.
a true leader.
Nico Horner over here. The Cubs have him for 2.525 mil this year. What a bargain.
They should trade him, man.
Oh.
I'm just trying to turn it upside down on you, Jeff.
Like the guys we want to trade right now is Tyon right here, fucking Mancini. You want to see if somebody wants to take Fulmer's bullshit. Tucker Barnhart, he can go.
Don't say that.
Tucker Barnhart will probably end up getting traded around the deadline.
They should flip Bellinger too.
And Bellinger, well,
I mean, I'm not saying he sucks,
if they're going for it or not.
Yeah, but I don't really. What are they going for? I mean, you can win the Central, but they're not beating anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah. You know what though? They make a lot of money on those playoff games.
Yeah, I was starting to say that I read a chapter. I think it was in Hardball Times when that book used to come out every year. Great book to come out in the winter, and they don't do it anymore. But they talked about the monetary value of just making the playoffs, and there's a real tangible, money to just making the playoffs. Certainly, winning the World Series, that's huge. But even like a team like the Angels would get some sort of benefit from making the playoffs, as opposed to another year where they don't even, can't even be the top 6 teams out of the 15 in the American League. But anyways, I guess I don't have any more specific information to give you, but there was definitely a monetary benefit to even just making the playoffs. I don't know how that works. I thought that the TV revenue with the playoff baseball was shared among the teams, but it must be divvied up differently than that.
Hey, you guys want to see the Yankees payroll?
That's part of the problem that baseball has is that I know the NFL really shares the revenue like a much more equitably than MLB does, and that would help a lot, right? I mean,
Why is it saying no results found? Well, that's fucking.
because it's under player, no
No.
position.
Team, New York Yankees.
They've never heard
No
of the
results
Yankees.
found. They've never heard of them.
This stupid site, USA Today.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? The Yankees probably paid them to take it off there.
Good salary site is, I think it's Spotrac, Spotrac.
Yeah,
That
something
sounds
like
Czechoslovakia.
Or is it Sport Track? I don't know if it's Sport Track or Sport.
Well, if you want to bring it up and show us, you're more than welcome.
Nah, I'll just leave it up to your imagination. More exciting that way. Well, I'll do a rapid share on this top pitchers.
it's actually Spotrac.
Sport Track. Yeah, that's what I thought. But then I was like, maybe it's Sport Track. So, are you guys seeing this? We'll do rapid fire here, okay?
Okay.
So I had this up before, but so McClanahan from Bryce, and then Bryce Elder, nice, huh?
Yeah.
These are the kind
How
of
about
guys.
Mitch Keller this year?
These are the kind of guys the Braves can bring up from their minor leagues. It's just a world the Mets, just a foreign world to the Mets. Mitch
Hey man,
Keller,
I'm telling you, I like Justin Steele. Justin Steele is a good
Justin
pitcher.
Steele just peeking his head out over here for the dads.
He even went down for a little bit. When he came back, he was still pitching good. He just picked up right where he left off, kind of. So I'm just like, holy shit.
Along with
Yeah,
Gallen.
but he's only at 79 innings compared to everybody else.
Right. Well, he was
on
out
the IL,
three.
right?
He was out 3 starts because of an injury.
Yeah.
Right.
He missed a couple of 3 starts, and then Spears got Stroman that we were talking about. Number 2 of all pitchers. Man, that's something else. Who would have thought that?
See if Justin Steele down there had 3 more starts. Think where he'd be on this list. He'd probably be up there as Framber Valdez.
Well, he'd probably be about right over here. Yeah.
Right with Zach Gallen and Garrett Cole.
Old man Kershaw.
That guy keeps ticking, man.
Look at the cows. So the cows got Framber.
How long has he had Kershaw? He's had him for a long time.
I think he took him in 1996. I think it was. He's just kept him all these years.
96.
No, that's a little early. I don't know.
I don't know if I told this story last time I was on here, but I was on a flight home from the East Coast. There was some like high school baseball conference, and there was a coach that was in Kershaw and Matthew Stafford's conference. They were teammates.
Okay.
I don't think you told us.
Stafford was the starting shortstop and the cleanup hitter. And this guy said that Stafford was a way better pitcher than Kershaw. He said Matthew Stafford was the best high school player he ever saw.
They played high school together?
Yeah, they were on the same team.
Is that in California?
Texas.
Texas? Oh. There's a lot of good players that came out of Florida, Texas, and California because they get to play a lot more than, as kids in the Midwest with the fucking cold and shit and the rain.
Jack Sawinski.
Jack Sawinski. His picture is up at Mystic Rogue over here. It's an Irish restaurant. And apparently his parents live just north of me here. He's a Chicago guy.
Even Sawinski, even when it was summer and you could play baseball in Illinois, his parents were like taking him to eat pierogies all the time, instead of going to the field. So he missed out a lot of early development with that.
Well, he didn't miss out on anything if he was eating pierogies, man. Those things are great.
Well, all right.
Matter of fact, they're having Taste of Polonia happens just a little east of me down Higgins, at the Copernicus Center. And that's just like they have a bunch of tribute bands and shit, and kind of like a one of those like church parties. Even though I'm not religious, but it's still fun to go over there and drink as much beer as you can fucking possibly drink, and take some mushrooms and listen to a Pink Floyd tribute band.
That's the only thing I really like about religion is that, it's the drinking. Other than that,
Yeah, they do sell a lot of alcohol at their events, don't they?
I went to that Taste of Bologna back in the day.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Lou remembers Erica.
yes, I do. Eric,
I do.
Gala, right?
Yeah, Gala. It was like Galawinski, but they shortened it.
Nice Polish girl.
Big
Yeah,
boom.
that's good times, man. I mean, the food's pretty good. It's been getting expensive, but I mean, they usually have some pretty good bands. I saw a Jimi Hendrix tribute band there one time, and the guy was right-handed, but he played a left-handed guitar turned upside down and playing differently. I'm like, I had to give him fucking points for that, But he looked just like Jimi Hendrix, and he was about 45 minutes late, so it was like right on. And then when he started playing, it was right on. So last year they had a Talking Heads one too.
my
But
my younger son, his band played a couple of graduation parties the past couple of weekends. They did a Jimi Hendrix song. I can't remember which one it was. But, it wasn't one I knew the title of, but so that was fun to see. They're all right. They're way better than my high school band, I'll tell you that.
nice. So how big is your coop? I mean, how much room do you have for chickens? I mean, how many
It's
chickens can
like
you
a
put in
max
there?
of like 12 chickens. So
Yeah.
now we're just gonna have four. I had a tragedy yesterday, Sean. A dog ran into the yard, and before I could react, killed three of the chickens. So I kicked that MFer as hard as I could,
What
thinking
kind
that
of
that
dog was it?
it was a black dog, but it wasn't big. It was like medium size. And I guess I thought that kicking it would like startle it, and it would, but it didn't. It didn't deter it at all. I should have like, you
No,
know,
he was trying to get away with his food.
yeah, I should have tried to tackle him. I guess, and when I kicked him, I was barefoot, so that would have been better if I'd had one of my black shoes on or something. But
You know what though? When he had it in his mouth and stuff like that, that even if you got her out of his mouth, probably wouldn't have fucking
yeah, she was a
survived.
goner. There was one that was injured that we tried to save. We bandaged it up, and it slept inside last night, but it died this morning. With Henry, my youngest, he was with it. So bad stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, let me just finish up the pictures. So I think we've talked about most of these. Satch and Logan Webb. That's really turning out pretty nice. Logan Webb's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Um, who else we got to talk about? We talked about Kershaw with the cows and Framber, the random name generator pitcher that Phil took a few years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but I accused Phil of like he's just making players up now. There's no such person as Framber Valdez, but it turns out there is. And
Merrill Kelly was supposed to be ranked. They figured he'd be 236 this year, and yet he's 44 right there.
yeah,
And you could say the same thing about Eovaldi and Stroman for that matter. It's like those guys were not predicted to be that good this year.
I'll make a prediction right now.
But
Next time Sean's on, Merrill Kelly will not be on this list. So we'll see. We'll see.
you think
Knockers have,
you just gave him the kiss of death or what?
well, I mean, come on. It's Merrill Kelly. Even if he pitches like Merrill Kelly the rest of the year, I'm already coming out ahead, So, Joe Ryan for the Knockers.
He had a really good game this week. He had a perfect, like not a perfect game, but he had a
yeah, I
game
saw
shutout.
that. Boy, the Twins need that, man. They need that just as much as the Knockers needed it, probably.
Yeah.
Gaussman for Let's Play. I don't know if you've seen anybody else here. Mitch Keller is still holding up for the Cows, along with Kershaw and Framber. Bryce Elder, who I mentioned, with McBride's. I also have McClanahan up here, and Barrios, Bizzotti, Justin Steele for My Baby's Daddy, along with Zach Allen. And then the last guy above where the page gets cut off is George Kirby for Hack Wilson. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Hey, have you noticed one thing?
I've
Go
noticed
back about 3-4 weeks, and Larkin and Big McBride traded Ellie De La Cruz for Kyle Tucker, and there was like players involved and all this other stuff. And ever since then, Chris has kind of come down a bit, and Baked has gone up. It's like ever since that trade, their luck has switched. I was talking with Chris earlier about this today. It's just strange the way that like coincided.
I don't know if
I'm not saying it was a bad deal. It's just so weird that like all of a sudden your pitching doesn't work, and then all of but other thing too though is Doug has a lot of innings already used, so
I don't know if this is a translation thing, but Ellie De La Cruz, I think I talked about last week that Jonathan India said, "Man, he's the fastest baseball player I've ever seen," and he said that he's the fastest man in the world. I think I said last week that he said on Earth, but I think he said translate to the world, and it made me wonder, like, okay, I guess that's good, but it makes me wonder, like, I know Wander Franco got sat down for a couple of games, right? Because he's just doing bullshit up there, right? He did that a month ago, or at least he did that flip of the ball before he threw it to first. Runner was out. It didn't cause any harm, but it's like,
don't do that.
I don't know if I want my rookie going like, I'm the fastest man in the world. Because first of all, I'm sure there's about 1,000 guys in Kenya that are faster than you. So, you should, maybe you're the fastest man in baseball. That's certainly not the same thing as saying you're the fastest man in the world. But
yeah,
I don't know. Do you want a guy that cocky? I mean, I know it's good to be confident, but is he gonna? I don't know.
I think he went
flame
from.
Out wait a minute, is he gonna Puig out on us?
I think it's better than Puig ever was.
Oh God, yeah. But Puig, what a fucking dick that guy was, huh? He kind of burned every bridge.
He went from first to home, or it was either when he hit for the cycle. Maybe it was triple. That was the fastest time from home to third in the majors this year.
Oh, you talking about De La Cruz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that guy can motor. I mean, there's like he can hit it like a chopper to second base, and they ain't gonna get him.
Well, he didn't run that hard from home to first, but when he saw that it got in the gap, it was like he kicked it into another gear and was like, wow.
Well, he's tall.
Yeah.
And he's fucking skinny.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of weight to push, and he's got a long stride. So, man, if he gets those hips going and fucking chugging, he'll make up the fucking ground. Crazy how good that guy is right now. I mean, he got a fucking cycle in his 15th game in the league.
Yeah.
I sorted this by
go
saves.
back and see exactly what was involved in that trade.
I sorted this by saves, and we see Carlos Estevez, the daddy's guy, is number 6. I think that's 6. Let's Plays guys are still top 2. Camilo Doval and Gaggers Diaz. Josh Hader for the Sombreros, along with Devin Williams. You got a couple of real good closers, huh?
Well, I paid for him.
And then you had Liam Hendricks too, right? So you would have had the 3. Yeah. So I think this is all the usual suspects here. Not too many big surprises. Kenley's having an okay year coming back for the Cows. You can see his saves are up, and his points he's allowing some runs, I guess, right? He's only got 130 points compared to these guys. Felix Bautista has 200 with 21 saves, and Kenley's got 130 with 16 saves. So I don't know. Pierce Johnson.
I traded him. I had him at the beginning of the year.
Jansen?
Which guy?
Iglesias.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
I traded him for Lewis on Minnesota. I've always kind of been a fan of
Royce
his.
Lewis. Yeah.
I mean, it was an equal trade. I mean, they were both hurt at the time.
And you had Hendricks coming back.
Yeah.
Look at catchers too. I think Rushman will be up here.
He's been struggling
Look
a
at
little.
Jonah Heim, man. That was one of my regrets right there, is letting him fucking go.
That's a kick in Jeff's pants there, right?
Yeah, man.
Jonah
Always.
Heim. And I think he's a buck. And he's got the most points a catcher, more than these Will Smith, JT Realmuto, $40, $50 guys. Oh, that's bad. And Rushman, he's not $1, but he's like what, $6, $7?
Yeah.
And he's number 2.
He'll be yours
Salvador
for
Perez
50
might be on
bucks
the move
next
this
year.
year.
What'd you say?
Salvador Perez might be on the move this year. I've been hearing gremlins about them trying to trade him this year.
Yeah, Hack loves him. I tried to trade for him 2 years ago, even probably last year too. But Hack just loves him. He just won't trade him. And he's doing well.
That's kind of the way I am with Wilson Contreras. Look at MJ Melendez, though. That guy's turning out to be a good producer.
So
Now,
what do they
Dalton
do?
Varsho next year.
having an
Dalton
awful
Varsho is not going to qualify a catcher, is he?
Not next year, it doesn't look like, unless Kirk and Jansen get hurt at the same time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is Contreras' numbers? I thought he was having an awful season.
Looks like he's doing okay.
Well, I mean, I see his fantasy points, but look, what's his OPS or?
Like advanced stats? I don't know.
Hold on.
Well, just click on that little thing that looks like a notebook. Yeah, go up.
Where is he?
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Oh, it's taking a long time. Come on.
Buffering.
Let me see. Can I get over there?
I'm going to bring up Baseball Reference setting and bring him up real quick.
216 isn't good.
216. He missed 8 homers. That doesn't seem good.
He's batting 216, OPS of 676. No, he's having a rough time this year, but he's putting up points. I mean,
well, obviously,
he's scoring runs and knocking runs in. So he's just not taking walks.
I think that says more about this catcher list. Like, it just doesn't take much to get. He's like what, 10th, 12th?
Yeah, he's underperforming what he did in prior years, but he's on the same pace for home runs and RBIs and runs.
Here's
and hits.
Diaz for Spear. Yeah, he's in the top 10. Look at that, just 1 point behind Real Muto. I think there's a big auction salary difference between those two. So Tyler Stevenson for Let's Play. Cal Raleigh for Let's Play. Yeah. Production per dollar, I'd say Stevenson and Raleigh are doing more than Real Muto's Will Smith for the gags. But, all right, I'm going to stop my share.
I got to show you guys something real quick. These are the trades that have happened so far.
In Beer League?
Yeah. So the last one was Alejandro Kirk and David Robertson traded to the Holy Cows for Kyle Higashioka and Bruce Star Graterol. And there's the one with Big McBrides and Chris. That was back on May 18th. So it was a Gunnar Henderson, Ellie De La Cruz, Sandy Alcantara, and Gavin Stone for Kyle Tucker. And
can you imagine if
Kyle's been doing good, man. I mean,
can you imagine if Alcantara started pitching, better than he had, right? I mean, he's.
Well, look at it. This is very inconsistent and not what he did last year.
5.08.
It's like every 2 games he has a good one. So hey, play him this day. Pattern.
Yeah, I mean, unless
Dodgers sent down Gavin Stone.
Gavin Stone, he got
looks
some
like it,
minuses.
yeah.
He got lit up.
Yeah, he got a rude awakening. Welcome to the big sun. Now go back down and fix your shit. But if you look at LA De La Cruz, 333, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He
That was a
hasn't even
big
had
day,
that
huh?
many at
17
bats.
points that day, man. Oh, man.
Yep. 17 points that, oh man.
8 stolen bases.
He's got 8 stolen bases already. And he's like 1, 2, 3, 4. In 9 games, he's got 8 stolen bases. Oh, we have Gleyber Torres for Blake Sable. That was Hack Wilson and paging. And the holy cows, you see a theme here where paging Dr. Satchel likes to trade. Holy cows traded Brian Anderson, Felix Bautista, which is, I think that was a good deal right there. He's a pretty good relief pitcher. And he had Gleyber Torres, and O'Neill Cruz was the big thing on that one.
Huh.
So he flipped Gleyber for Blake Sable. So in essence, there you go.
Well, and he got
Wait a minute.
Marte for the Italian Stallion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Italian Stallion's going to miss maybe the rest of the year, even maybe.
Yeah.
Man.
I love
Any
Vinny, but
Pasquantino.
he didn't kick ass this year. Definitely. Now he might not get the chance to improve
See
it.
if anything. Well, this is just everything. Okay. And then before that, it was CJ Cron for Ty France. That was like right after the draft.
Yeah, I did that to get a guy that qualified at third. I think that's what it was. I actually was higher on Cron than France, but it was really close.
You made a really good decision here because Cron is fucking coming in at 469 and France is fucking ranked 67.
Yeah.
So you made the smart move there, bud.
It didn't look smart, a few weeks after. So
yeah,
but
one of the reasons why you're up there at the top of the fucking heap.
Crohn's been hurt. Yeah, but I didn't do it I wasn't guessing that France is going to be better. It was just a position qualification. That's why I had Donaldson. It's my last player. I needed a third baseman. So, but you know how that stuff is. Like it's so important at the end of March, and then later on, it's like all the guys are off your team anyway. So
yeah. So who do you guys like so far going on now? I mean, who do you like in the AL West? Knowing what you've seen halfway through the season, who do you like?
I have reasons to not
think
like
Texas
any of those
is for
teams,
real?
Is Texas for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're doing without DeGrom.
I'd still take Houston.
I wouldn't bet against Houston myself. Yeah, I wouldn't bet against them.
There's a 5.5.
They could add a pitcher at the deadline,
game lead. And then you got Los Angeles, which has got a 6 games back. So I mean, they're right neck and neck with Houston and trailing and chasing after Texas. Then Seattle's way back. I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect them to be almost 10 games out right now.
Yeah, it's a tougher division except for Oakland, right? I mean,
oh my God, Oakland's almost like they're 28.5 games back.
Well, it'll definitely be more of a dogfight than it's been right this year.
Well, we pretty much know right now that Oakland is going to. Well, I don't know. KC's really trying hard to fucking match them. They're 22 and 56. Between KC and Oakland, they're going to have like the first pick in the draft if they don't get screwed over by
discouraging for KC because they somewhat try. They're not going to sign Verlander, but they're not like the A's. The A's just were abandoned all everything.
To be honest with you, I think the Kansas City Royals, I don't know. I thought they should have done like maybe more than what they did.
Yeah.
Back when they had when they
not all in, but they don't.
Series before
they don't do what the Pirates or the A's have done. They're not all in, but they usually will bring in a guy in for $2 or $3 million a year to play second base or something like that. Those teams don't. They're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying $2 million for that. I'll just bring the guy up from AAA, you know. So.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you made all that extra money from winning the World Series the year before. Why couldn't you just fucking invest a little bit of that in your team and then fucking brought in a couple fucking thumpers or something to go along with a lot of your young guys?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get that at all. They just kind of imploded after that.
I think after the World Series, they did some stuff though, right? Didn't they sign Alex Gordon after the World Series victory?
No, I thought he was on that team.
They just invested in some players that just lost it. Gordon lost it. Dozier lost it. You know, just not the smartest signings, I guess. You know, but at least they're somewhat trying. You know, like
Alex Gordon had like a career WAR of 34.4, so he's a pretty damn good player.
Who, Dozier?
Yeah, no, Alex Gordon.
Oh, Gordon. Yeah, Gordon was good. He was a good left fielder, and for a few years he hit, and then he signed.
Yeah, he
and
was a Gold Glover.
What'd you say?
He was a Gold Glover.
Yeah, yeah. He just went south, and like Dozier, just from the day he signed, he went south.
Yeah, he was in the 2015 World Series. Yeah, he's been with KC his whole career.
Well, he's gone now, right? Didn't they get rid of
And
him?
he's a well, check this out. 1, 2, 3. Well, 3-time All-Star. He's a Gold Glove for
Are you talking about
8-time
Gordon
Gold
now?
Glove winner. That's pretty fucking sick. You got a guy that does that. He didn't have really a lot of career in hitting and shit, but the 8 Gold Gloves and 2 Platinum Gloves,
Do you see his
3-time
WAR?
All-Star World Series champ.
Do you see
He
his
could be
WAR?
one of those guys that gets grandfathered in the Hall of Fame. I don't think it should happen.
Did he have like a 5 WAR season? With his defense, he might have.
Let's see.
Certainly a 4. You're talking about Gordon, right?
Yeah, I can't tell per season if he had a 5 WAR season. Doesn't show me. Okay, wait a minute.
Ooh,
In 2012, he had 6.3 was his WAR,
ooh, more than I
and
thought.
then in 2014 it was 6.1.
Wow. So he had a
But
big
hey,
peak
in
there.
2011 it was 7.3.
Jeez.
Yeah, he had some good offensive years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now D WAR, I mean, for his career, he's 6.6. Regular hitting WAR was 34.5.
The Sox tried to sign him.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
was a
think
fucking. He was
after
sought
they
after
won the
fucking.
World Series, the Sox tried to sign him to like a 4-year deal, and he went back to the Royals for less money.
Yeah, because he was loyal and shit.
Good
He just
choice.
wanted to fucking just be the guy for that team. Because then you become like beloved in the city and you're an ambassador and all that shit. A lot of these players would just like to be with the same team as long as they like play the game.
Well, and he grew up in Nebraska. He grew up a Royals fan.
That's even better.
Yeah.
But he was making up until his last year of his contract, he was making 20 million in the last two, like 18 and 19. And then in 20 made 4 million. And then he was out of baseball after that. He retired.
Plus, he doesn't like deep dish. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like deep dish, you can't come here. You know.
Runza or something, whatever that Nebraska.
I love the fact that a lot of people think Chicago style pizza is deep dish when it's like basically tavern style fucking square cut. Although I do like Pequod's, which is pan, which is not deep dish.
That is good pizza.
Oh yeah,
What's it called?
Pequod.
Spell.
You know what? Next time you're in town, we'll go there.
Okay.
All right, I'll take you there. You like going to Pizza Due and shit, so I never really brought it up. I already thought you'd had your favorite. But yeah, I got to take you over to Pequod's for a lunch special. Those things are fucking delicious. Just the right amount of pizza too.
I like Dewey because the first place I went to in Chicago in January of '88 was with my girlfriend at that time. So her dad and stepmom took me there. You know, we went to Dewey. I liked it.
Is that the woman you're married to now?
No, it was a different lady. It's like Sean's Erica.
Classy. Look at this pizza place is classy.
Yeah, they had a picture of Ditka from the '70s on the wall, and You know, with like a '70s shirt. Couple
You
of
had me at
buttons
Ditka. Yeah. Oh shit.
That's cool.
I don't know how many cocktails I've had, but I am getting
When I moved to
right
Chicago,
there.
I'd never been there, but it was after all those movies came out. You know, like Breakfast Club, and you know all the. It seemed like every movie
The John Hughes shit.
took place in Chicago, suburbs of Chicago. So it was kind of cool to go there. I had
Yeah,
no
that was a
idea.
John Hughes thing. He was like from Northbrook or some shit. I don't know. But
Ferris Bueller.
yeah, he did all that stuff. Ferris Bueller, 16 Candles,
Yeah,
Breakfast Club.
yeah, Breakfast
Eh,
Club.
He really like he molded the 80s for a lot of fucking people with his work. And then he died young. Died very young.
Yeah. Did he do the one with the little kid when they left him at home?
I think so.
No, I don't think so. Right? Was it Home Alone? You
Macaulay
mean?
Culkin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Home
he did
Alone.
Home Alone. That was his.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How about Uncle Buck? Is that him?
That is him too, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Planes,
I mean,
Trains. Planes, Trains. Is that him too?
maybe. Hold on one second. I'm gonna IMDb this shit because this is
I don't know. How did you get from Syracuse to DeKalb, Lou?
The girl that I met in Syracuse was from Libertyville.
Oh.
So she transferred from Syracuse to Northern. And I left Syracuse and moved to DC and then Boston with my band. And then I decided that I should go back to school and I'll move out to Illinois. That's why I went to Northern, you know. Didn't graduate from Northern, but I had a really good time.
Yeah.
But, graduated from DePaul on a basketball scholarship, as you know.
Yeah. And a minor in autos.
So, do you remember the initial discussions of the beer league? I can't remember the genesis of the whole thing. I do know that I went to a convenience store. We had this league with Talking Football. Do you remember that game? I probably played it with you. I don't know. It was Mattel Electronics Talking Football. You punched in your play on the keypad, and then the offense and the defense, and then you heard the result. But we had this league, and it was such a bummer because some guy wouldn't be around for a while, and then you'd have to play like 10 games in a row to catch up. And I remember I went out to get, cigarettes or something. And I remember thinking like, man, I just want to see the stats at the end of it, the standings. I don't care about the games. And then I saw this magazine. It said Sporting News, Fantasy Baseball. This is like the winter time. It's like January, probably when it just come out. And I was like, yeah, I heard about this. I remember a guy that I knew was in a rotisserie league, and that's when I got the whole idea. But it must have been when I was living at the boarding house. And I don't remember. Did I go up to you and go like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? Or do you remember anything like that? I don't remember anything. But
I don't really.
yeah.
I remember. I think we bought the National. Was that the magazine where we got the stats out of?
My memory is us doing the stats with the National, but I read on Wikipedia or whatever that National went out of business, out of circulation in like June of that year. So we might have done it for a couple of months that way, but it didn't exist after June or so. So
I just remember we were up in that attic where you were at.
Yeah.
With Sean Murphy.
Right.
I don't know if he was there.
Not the catcher.
Nope.
It turns out Sean Murphy is a pretty popular name among Irish.
Yeah, it's a very popular Irish name. There's about fucking 18,000 of them in the world.
But you had that like
the confusing Facebook search.
It was just up there. That was shag carpeting.
Yeah.
And I just remember laying down and like on my stomach, and you were there too, and doing the stats. Like I'd be reading them to you, and you were writing them down, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, that sounds very error-proof and scientific.
Sounds helpful.
It wasn't like you had the pitchers and I had the hitters or something.
I'll be right back. Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well,
I remember it being hotter than shit up there.
at least we were smart enough to limit the amount of categories, like because I wasn't going to do like 8 categories. We had 4, and that was plenty. But now when I look back on it, I can see like how the setup wasn't really that good. We should have had a points league back then. Even that would have been smarter.
Yeah.
But we had the runs and runs batted in, so that's okay. If you're just going to have 2 categories, that's not too bad. But ERA and wins plus saves, you can see like you shouldn't have had really any starters at all, except for like aces. Have like one
Right.
ace and then a bunch of relievers, and that's what Brian and Ed did when they won. I think that they did, stuff like that. I had no computer. I was not smart about manipulating the categories or anything.
Nobody had a computer then.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 91. I think I did get a computer in 92. But you were already working with computers. I remember like picking you up at your job or something. You worked at like 10th Street, Lincoln Highway or something. Didn't you work at a place? So you were already, I thought that you were
Marco
really
or something. I mean, I knew how to use a computer, but like I didn't have a PC at home.
I didn't know anything about them. When I first got a computer, it was the fall of 92. I stayed up like 10 hours in a row, maybe all night, like just realizing how I could do the fantasy league stats with the vertical lookup feature. Ampersand,
Yeah.
V lookup, and then each player had an ID number, and a comma, and then you the range, and then you could offset the columns. Like
you taught yourself Excel.
Yeah. So I want one column over from this. I want 2 columns, and when I realized I could copy down like 3,000 rows in it probably took like 10 seconds back then or something, but it was still amazing to me. So I only really got into Excel and because I know Excel pretty well now, thousands of hours later, but it was really because of baseball, like accounting, that's nice, but that's what excited me so much. I was like, I can't believe I can do that, because I used to do stuff by hand, like pencil or paper, like ridiculous. I remember in 92, before I got the computer, so the baseball season 92, I'm doing stuff by hand. I'm like, because I used to provide a draft list for everybody based on, I had the points that the player had for the previous year. That was the first year we did the points league, So I remember doing that, and it was just by hand. I didn't know computer. I'm just adding these things up. Probably there's some mistakes in there. I don't know, but yeah, it's funny. But yeah, so when I got Excel, that was really something.
I want to say that was green bar paper, but you probably didn't do it on green bar paper.
On what paper?
Green bar. Like the grid, like old school accounting.
I used to do the football pools like that.
Okay.
When I ran a football pool, I had it where I could just take a highlighter and go down a column, and then any number was in there was something like that. So yeah, I did grid paper for that. Again, no computer. A computer would have really come in handy back when I was doing that kind of stuff, like 91, 90 or whatever. Yeah.
Where do we hold those drafts?
The first one was up in my room, in the attic there.
No, for football.
I'm talking about football pools, not the fantasy league. I didn't run a fantasy football pool. That was Bob Meinig. He ran the Barf League, and that was when he had already moved to Chicago. So I think 93 might have been the first year for the football league that we did.
And that was it was kind of by Wrigley.
We had at least one of the drafts. They used to live on Hoyne. Is that right? Or
yeah, that's right. But what was the bar over there?
The Village Tap.
Yeah, that's it.
And I know we had at least one of the drafts for the football league in that beer garden, and that's the one I always think of. Like, it's just, I don't know what it was about that day. The weather must have been perfect, but it's like a fond memory. Like it was just a great time. Just to go there and drink and choose the football players. I just had a great time. Whatever year that was, I don't know, 93, 94, 95, whatever it was. We used to meet in the loop I don't know if you were one of. I remember Bob and Brian, and we would meet for lunch, and Bob would have the fantasy football standings and stuff like that. I don't know if you were one of those guys. Maybe it was just
I
the
don't
three of us.
remember that.
Yeah, it might have just been me, Bob, and Brian. But yeah, we were into the football league too. You know, that was. I think I said this like one of these podcasts that I used to agonize over my fantasy football picks, like you wouldn't believe. I just couldn't decide, and I would just agonize over it to the very second I made the pick. You know, I agonized for weeks and weeks and weeks, and now I just like I could not care less. You know, and it's not like I do any worse. It's just like I just pick whatever the list is. I pick them. I don't agonize. You know, but I used to really care about it. You know, like. No. Anyways, Jeff doesn't want to get into this because it's going to eventually get.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm listening.
Jeff won't enter into this because he doesn't want to get into the area where I complain that I'm not in his football league. So, and I had to start a completely separate league for all the people that couldn't get into Jeff's league. You know, so.
Well, there's so many on the waiting list. I mean, shit, you're able to form a whole league, right?
I've got Sean, Norm, Doug, right? Who else from the beer league? I think that might be it.
Isn't Phil in it?
What?
Isn't Phil in it?
Phil might have been in it, and maybe he's not now. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think he was in it last year.
I can't get behind the whole home field advantage thing. Just can't do it.
Oh, it's a small thing.
It's not.
Well,
it burns you.
We talked about this last time, and then Sean came out on your side, so I don't want to rehash that one.
Burn me good.
Sean didn't like it either. I guess I should ask everybody if they really hate it, and then I could do without it. I just like it because
I think it's unnecessary.
It just makes the regular season mean something more than it does right now. Without it, I mean.
Oh no, I just can't get behind the whole home field advantage thing. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Nothing against you, Lou. It's so different than anything I've ever been used to and anything fantasy.
It can't be the only one. I must have.
I don't think I've ever played another league that had that going on.
I'm sure I got the idea from somewhere. So.
No, I was in one that they had a home field advantage.
So there, in your face, Jeffrey.
Hey, well, what do I know?
No, I don't know.
But I don't know that it's ever really come into play.
Yeah, it
came into play for me one time during the playoffs. I lost by a fucking home field advantage. That's why I'm fucking salty.
In my league?
I don't get it.
Wait, you were in my league and you lost by home field advantage?
I think I should have won by 2 and I lost by 1.
Oh. Well, I think it's more than 3 though. It's like I think it's like.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. But I know it was just like I thought I won the game and then the home field advantage fucked me and I lost. It's like, why is that a thing?
Oh. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry you had that bad experience.
I've been holding on to that for about 9 years.
Well, you think about it. The NFL home field advantage is about 2 points now. Used to be 3, but I think it's more closer to 2 now. So if you're
really gauge that though,
if you're playing at KC, even besides the difference in the teams, you're expected to lose by 2 points on average. You know.
Yeah.
That's what Vegas is putting it at. It's like 2.4 or something like that.
I figure it out each year, actually. In some years, it's really like less than a point. You know, it's been a lot less lately, but I think this year was up a little bit. But I think 2 points is about probably safe to say, like a good estimate. Even 1.5 points. It's not very high anymore like it used to be. It used to be 3 was the standard.
Yeah, it used to be 3.
Yeah, and it's not 3 now. I mean, if you take the home teams and the away teams, and it doesn't add up to 3.
Here's something I want to ask you, Lou. What do you think about your Jets this year?
Well, I mean, they have a shot. I don't know. I mean, Rodgers has to stay healthy, and he has to show that last year his drop off was due to his thumb injury, whatever, not his age. But as long as he continues to not turn the ball over like he is, like he's been good at historically, he should be good. If he's old and he does turn the ball over and he gets hurt, well, then it's all a lost cause.
You're
But
gonna
I,
see
I
Zach
can't
Wilson.
I can't fault the Jets for trying. I was against the whole Rodgers thing until after he signed, and I realized I would be an idiot to like hold out, and I should just enjoy it. If it is good, I should enjoy it because the Jets have never gone to the Super Bowl since I've been following them. I was too young, barely too young, but I was about 3 years too young to know what happened. January 12th, '69.
Yeah, that was back in the Joe Namath days.
Yeah, my first Super Bowl was '72. That's the first one I remember. The Cowboys beat the Dolphins 24-0. The year before the Dolphins went on their, perfect season. So the perfect season was the '72 season.
Yeah.
The first Super Bowl I remember was January '72, and I bet a
I,
quarter.
I was like 3 years old when that happened, and yeah, I didn't remember a fucking
It was,
thing, and I didn't know what football was.
it was my first bet I ever made. It was for 25 cents with this kid named Steven. And he took the Cowboys. I took the Dolphins. Dolphins lost 24-0. And when we were at school, he wanted me to pay up, and I said, "I'm not paying you." And then
He beat your ass.
eventually, his dad called my dad, and my dad said, "You make a bet. You got to pay." And I was like, "All right." And so I gave him the 25 cents. I'm a much more ethical person now than I
You
was
tried to welch.
when I was when I was 7. I thought it was an effective strategy. It was like, if I win, he'll pay me, and if he wins, I'm just not going to pay him. That works out well for me.
How
It's a
Trumpian
win-win.
of you.
So not a win-win, but it's a win, no lose. So the worst
No,
I could do with my method, the
no,
worst I could do is break even.
lose.
No, but I understand that that's wrong now, and I'm actually a very relatively honest and ethical person now. So
I heard the Jets they're pretty much gonna get Delvin Cook.
Really? Why would they do that when they have Brees Hall?
because he got
I
hurt
don't
last
know.
year.
Keep him away from the Dolphins.
That's one reason to do it, but Jesus
I mean,
Christ. You got
those are
two of the
two
same
people in
running
the running.
backs. I don't know. That just seems like overkill.
That killed me. It killed the season too when Brees Hall got hurt. The game he got hurt. I was thinking like I feel like I'm watching like Gale Sayers footage during like that movie Brian Song. When they would show like Gale Sayers like running off this 60-yard run or whatever. It was amazing what Brees Hall was doing, and then he got hurt, and it really changed. It really changed their season. Plus,
Dalvin Cook should go to the Ravens. J.K. Dobbins is going to get hurt again, but Dalvin Cook can take over that fucking program with the Ravens. I don't know. I just think that's a good spot for him, but I don't even know if they're going to go after him. But I don't know.
They said
J.K. Dobbins is always fucking hurt.
They said it's between the Jets and Miami.
Yeah, I know. He's been playing Miami for a little bit on that one.
Well, that's where he's from.
I can't remember
The other
depth
thing
chart.
too is, New Orleans could use a fucking running back. Well, because they got Kamara.
But last year it was ridiculous. The Ravens were like they went through like what 3, maybe 4 injured guys. It was I can't remember the names. I don't know the depth chart that well, but there were a lot of options that fell by the wayside. And like before the season started, even it was like during preseason. Do you know?
Yeah, they had some guy named Gus something. I can't remember his last name.
Gus Edwards? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
Dobbins. I don't know. That was like, yeah, they had, I'm sure they felt like we'll get somebody, somebody will stay healthy. And it was like, no, like they all went down. That Gus Edwards, maybe that's like a Washington guy, right?
I thought he used to be a defensive back.
I don't know. I don't know my football as well as the
No.
baseball stuff. The other day it hit me. I get this one football book. It's called Football Outsiders Almanac. It's
Mhm.
like the baseball prospectus for football. It's a great
Okay.
book. It's a
All
great
right.
thing.
I'll have to check that out.
And
It
I
is
got it
Gus Edwards, by the way.
for Baltimore.
Yes.
Yeah, I vaguely remembered, but it's a great book, and I get it, as soon as it comes out. And when I thought about it the other day, I was like, oh, it's starting to change. Like I'm gonna like put my prospectus down because I'm not like Jeff. I don't save my baseball prospectus and like read it years later. And once the season's over, that thing just goes in the recycling bin. And
I've got a bunch of those like Baseball America prospect handbooks.
yeah,
And you can go back and like look at like 2008 and it's like, oh, wrong there, wrong there. Ooh, that was a fucking diamond in the rough. It's like it's kind of fun to do that. But yeah, I mean, shit. There's a bunch of prospectus and a bunch of fucking baseball fucking America prospect handbooks right there.
if I was smart, I would save them, and I could even just sell them on eBay or something. But I just get rid of them.
I don't know if you can see it in there, but I got the same thing going. There's about 10 years worth.
Of which one?
There's a collector's thing with it with me. I mean,
Prospect Handbook or?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't got the last couple years. Um, they're just expensive as fuck, man. They want like almost 40, $50 for those fucking books.
Yeah,
You can get it on Amazon for like 30.
Well, that's where I was on, and they were
yeah.
fucking way more than that.
One of the books I got this year, I was like, I can't. That's not worth it. I shouldn't get it, but I got it anyway. But yeah, they're starting to like once it's like over like $28, I'm like, oh come on. Like
You
yeah,
gotta
one of
send,
them was like $37. Come on. It's
you gotta send me the info on that football publication you got every
oh
year.
yeah. It's called Football Outsiders.
Well,
Um,
Outsiders. Okay,
it's the only book that I know of that's like it. So you got to get that one. It's a great book.
I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
they're wrong, just like baseball prospectus is, but they're the only book that's looking into this stuff. I mean, you get tired of reading the same stuff, whatever, the same
oh, of course.
dribble. It's a good book. Do you know that book, Sean?
I do not.
Yeah, you would like it too. I mean, you'd really like it. Football Outsiders. I'm not being paid. I just
No, I've heard of it.
yeah. I've gotten it for about maybe like the past just 5 years or so. I know it's been around longer than that, but that's good. They're like if you wrote baseball prospectus for football, basically. That they look at each player, they look at the teams. The write-ups are good, and the writing is good. Like it's funny. They were criticizing the New York Giants during their season ticket holder day that they had at the stadium. They were giving away free sodas, but the sodas were medium. And the guy was saying like, if any team should have large sodas, it's a team called the Giants. Like we're the Giants, but here's a medium soda. I don't know. It was funnier when he said. But anyways, the reason I brought it up is because I thought about that book the past few days, and I realized that the season's changing, right? Like now I'm starting to look to football a little bit, especially if I'm not going to catch Satch in baseball, and I wouldn't bet anything on that.
Well, especially if you're where I'm sitting right now, fucking 10th place. Going, when's football season gonna start here?
But I was thinking about it too that even you and Hack, okay, it's unlikely you're going to win the league, right? I mean, you're 10th and 11th, but I would still be into it, like because I'd be like, fuck, I'm only half game behind Jeff. I'm catching him, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all relative. I've had years where I just want to move up a couple of places, and all right, I guess if I could just finish sixth, all right, that's all right. I never just like I never think like, well, I can't finish first, so screw it, But
Right, right.
there's still like some pride in there. I don't know.
I don't know. I always keep trying. I mean, I haven't made a whole lot of trades in the last couple years. I just keep rolling with the guys I've got. Nobody's been wowing me with anything. I'm not really been wowing anybody with
I guess
anything.
I should look at some trades, right? I mean, if I really think that Merrill Kelly and these guys are flash in the pan, then I should try to trade him. Of course, I hope that people don't watch this, but I should try to trade him, right?
Let your true intentions out, brother.
I don't think it would discourage anybody from trading with me. I don't think that they hear me say something and go like, he's right. I think if anything, they go like, well, Lou doesn't think Merrill Kelly's any good. And you drop Kyle Gibson. All right, I'll call him up. I'll make a trade offer for him.
It's just the thing right now. It's
Look at
like,
that
okay,
thing.
when you got a good young pitcher who's like cheap and shit, you gotta hold on to him. But
You got
God damn it, it goes year to year. You don't know what you're gonna get the next year. He can be great this year, and then the fucking next year he's like fucking dog shit.
You got a Magnum of Jameson there? What is that thing, man? It looks big.
It lasts a while. I mean, I'm not like sucking it down like it's like, I'm not like drinking out of it like it's a baby bottle.
You get more than one podcast out of that thing?
Huh?
You get more than one podcast
God,
out of that thing?
that's a month's worth, like there, if not more. I
What
mean,
do
the
you
only
drink?
time I ever really drink Jameson is when I'm like doing this.
Sean, what are you drinking?
At
Anything?
home. I mean, that's at home. I don't really drink at home, except, it's just, this seems like a social event to me. So therefore, I like to drink. Anyway.
What are you
I'm
drinking,
actually
Sean?
not drinking anything. I am starving for a drink.
Well, I wish I could shoot you over a Jameson and Coke.
My
But
go-to
that's
drink.
impossible. That's what we need to do is like a little teleportation, like send somebody over a fucking goodie bag.
I only drink at home on special occasions, like every night when I celebrate dinner.
Yeah. Oh, pepperoni pizza with this nice Pinot Noir.
I've got this Oreo cookies and Shiraz pairing that's working quite well. The grapes bring out the subtle flavors of the thiamine mononitrate.
I think Trout just hit a walk-off against the Sox.
Oh, shit.
Who did?
You think or you know?
Well, I have ESPN on, and I don't know. They had Bummer walking off the mound, and Trout was getting doused with Gatorade. So I'm assuming he hit it.
Did the Mets win tonight?
God damn.
I don't know about
The Mets were up 1-0 when I left them.
Cunha homered. Strider struck out 10. The Braves won.
All right. Remember we were talking
Mets
about
lost 2-1.
What's
The Mets
that?
lost?
Mets lost 2-1.
Oh my god!
2-run homer. In the ninth for the Brewers.
Oh my god, that's even worse. That's just so bad.
God. I pulled this up just to get off the baseball for a second because this is just bumming us all out. So John Hughes, we were talking about John Hughes. And so here are the movies that he directed. 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Weird Science, which was a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, She's Having a Baby, Uncle Buck, and Curly Sue. Last time he directed a film was in 1991.
Wow.
So here is the movies that he was a producer of.
Oh, these are the players I don't even understand what it means.
Like Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller, Some Kind of Wonderful.
I remember that. Eric Stoltz, and
oh yeah,
Masterson.
Yep. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She's Having a Baby. The Great Outdoors.
Aykroyd, Candy.
Yeah.
I don't think that was too good.
Aykroyd and Candy. The bear bouncing on top of fucking John Candy. That's fucking great. Uncle Buck. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Ooh.
Home Alone.
Shitter's
oppor-
full.
Yep.
Oh, he made some bucks, huh?
Yeah, career
he-
opportunities, Only the Lonely, Dutch, Curly Sue, Home Alone 2, Dennis the Menace,
That
Baby's
guy's an
Day
effing
Out.
millionaire, man. He's
Oh, I
gotta be
know.
worth-
No, he was fucking
he's got to
like,
be worth like 2-3 million bucks. I
God, yeah. Miracle on 34th Street, the redo on 1994. 101 Dalmatians, Flubber. He started doing shit for Disney, I think. And then he did Home Alone 3, Reach the Rock, and Newport South. And 2001 was the last time he produced anything. And now writer,
From that list you gave, it seemed like more like 1991.
now as a writer, Jesus Christ, okay, I'm not even gonna go through this shit. He was a writer on the first National Lampoon's Vacation. I'm just gonna bring up, and he was a writer on Mr. Mom, European Vacation. Let's see here. Let's skip through. He was a writer in Beethoven, that fucking thing about the dog. Of course, Home Alone's, Dennis the Menace. Christ, the dog's fucking stomach is growling. It's fucking stupid. Let's see here. Anything else? Regular Vacation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Interesting fucking life of John Hughes.
When he died like 5 years ago or something, 3 years
He
ago.
died in 2009. He was like 59 years
jeez, I
old.
thought it was more recent.
Oh, he was 59 years old. He died in 2009.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like 13, 14 years ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago. Well, how about Harold Ramis? Harold Ramis, man. That was one guy that's like, fuck. How did he die? Harold Ramis was great. And then there was another
He wrote
fuck-
Animal House, didn't he?
Caddyshack and
Yeah, he was part of the
Animal House,
the
maybe.
kind of original fucking group.
I liked in Stripes when they said, "Have you ever been convicted of a felony?" And they said, "Like, convicted? No, never convicted."
I don't
Yeah,
remember
Harold
that.
Ramis. Harold Ramis died. Let's see here. He died in 2014. So this was like 5 years after,
Yeah, that's almost 10
you
years
know,
ago
John
too. I would have
Hughes.
thought that was like 3 years ago. I don't know. Everything's like 3 years ago to me, I guess.
Yeah, Harold Ramis bugged me, man. I mean, it's like fuck. You know, we're down at Ghostbuster.
Well, seeing as though we're like 3 hour mark now, I didn't want to bring up the baseball movies thing. Maybe another time. I always have these things in
We
mind.
just
Like
talked about football and fucking bullshit for the last fucking half an hour.
I always have these things in mind. Like, oh, if you have nothing to talk about, we can talk about it. But like, we always go long anyway, you know. So it's Sean hasn't.
Just have fun hanging out.
Sean's gonna have to go to the fridge and like chug like 3 beers, you know. I mean,
Well, I'm
John,
gonna make. I'm
what I
actually
do,
gonna have
just bring a little cooler to the computer with you, and just fucking you know, you got your own little mini fridge.
yeah, you
Well,
got.
I am gonna go to the fridge. I'm gonna make a Tito's and lemonade.
Should have been the first thing you did before you even turned that goddamn iPad on.
You know, you got this
Oh,
for
shit.
base. Huh?
I know there's like a ritual now. It's like I do every time we get set up for this. It's like, okay, bring the computer in, bring the cord in, because we're gonna be so long that my fucking computer will run out by the time I fucking like I gotta make sure it's plugged in.
You get my.
Go in there, get a cooler, fucking throw some Diet Cokes in
Get my
there, get my
ice, you get
fucking
my
bottle of Jameson,
box of
mix the
wine.
two as we go along and sip it along the way. Have my weed off to the side, fucking grind, blah blah blah, you know, and like, you know, it's you gotta set everything out. And
Well,
it's,
I'm in an empty house tonight.
Oh
The
man,
wife and kids went to Kansas, so I could stay up late.
hey, you just get naked and rub your ass on things.
Yeah, I can jerk off wherever I want.
you should have gotten your liquor out, man.
Do it
I
in the
had
house
one before
plants.
we started.
Oh yeah, I prepare like 15 minutes before. I get my box of wine down here. I got my ice set up. I got toothpicks. I got gum, napkins. Everything. It's like a lot of preparation here. A lot of important stuff. Want to have a good show.
Next
So
time.
you got a fucking OnlyFans page?
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for me.
Oh, I know. I'm tired.
All right. Well,
Been a long day.
Well, it's good having you on again, Sean, and I'm glad we could explain the weekend warrior stuff. I mean, I know that people understand that term, but I wanted them, specifically to know about Keith Culbertson and the weekend warriors that would come to our house on Friday nights.
Yeah, well, they would get off work, they'd come up, and then they were a slobbery mess.
Were they already done with
days.
college, or did they drop out? Why were they working? And we were still
No,
going.
they had graduated. I
Okay.
was doing masters.
Oh, okay. You were getting a master's. I hadn't even got my bachelor's yet, and I'm older than you.
Yeah.
I'm going to write my fast track to success book any day now. So.
But they were working all week, and so they just came back up. Yep.
They really would do that. They would come.
Yes.
They'd come to the boarding house. Oh my god! And then they would get sloshed. And Culbertson would have the chew. He was a big chew. I know you are too, but man, he would get confused about where the bathroom was. I'd never seen anybody like that before, because I've never done that. I've always known where the bathroom is.
No,
I
they
can't
came
imagine
up.
mistaking a hallway for a bathroom. It's just I don't understand that.
Was it pee or poo?
Pee. It was just pee, but it
Okay.
was more than once, right? I mean, he
Mistaked his pants for the bathroom more than once.
He was a big dude too. Like
Yes.
Remember you were trying to tell these girls that he was that tight end for what was it? Who was it?
I can't
tell these
remember.
girls Kent Dilger, right?
Yes.
Because he looked like he could be a tight end. He was tall and
He was 6'4", like 240.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you telling that story that he couldn't even pull it off. That he was too drunk. Like he was just kind of like sitting there, but like falling over and stuff like that. It just didn't work. Like, and you guys lost the girls. Whatever, they weren't that desperate.
But that's gonna be a problem.
What is he doing now? Are you in touch with him?
I haven't seen him in like 10 years, but he actually lives near my brother. My brother lives in Naperville, and he was walking his dog with his girlfriend, and he ran into my brother. Guess he's doing all right.
Were they okay?
They were all right. Pants were dry.
He was a good guy. I don't want to.
No, he was.
Say anything embarrassing about him. I mean, I guess it is embarrassing, but he was definitely a good guy. And that's who I think of when I have the weekend warrior on our page. I think of Keith. I really do.
Hey, quick question. What do you think about the NASCAR race that's happening downtown Chicago?
Glad I'm not down there.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a zoo.
What's the over and under on some car part flying off a car and then hitting somebody and destroying them?
I have no idea. I don't even know where they're exactly. Are they going down Lakeshore Drive?
Yeah, part of it. But it's like, okay, I'm like, how are they going to fix the bumps and shit? Are they going to repave everything? I mean, it's like, what the fuck is going to happen? I mean, it's like these cars, I mean, they're going like fast. I mean, a little bump can throw them way the fuck off.
Yeah.
So gonna be interesting. It might be one of the slowest NASCAR races you've ever seen in your life. Because now they have to turn right instead of just left all the time.
When is it? I
That's
didn't.
this
I heard
Sunday?
nothing.
No, it's like well, yeah, I think it is this Sunday, to be honest with you. I think that I don't know if there's time trials on Saturday or some shit or some other races on Saturday, like the lower echelon.
Yeah.
But I think the big race is on Sunday. So
Well, no one's ever going to hear this, but I just remembered that I wanted to bring this up tonight. That you said that, like Jeff said, that I leave like $15 on the table every year. I went back to 2017. Can you guess the amount of dollars that I've left on the table in those 7 auctions since 2017? And I'm not stopping there because 2016 was an especially bad year. I just don't have the records going back before then that I could find.
how much?
It was $3 combined.
Okay. So how many times have you like got a guy at the end for like fucking $60 when he was a $3 player?
That can definitely happen, but I'm not leaving money on the table. So
Austin Meadows.
Oh my God.
$50 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it was there was some relief pitcher that went for like 52 fucking dollars one year. And I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Norm who had him because he had like so much money left over. And he just like he wanted that relief pitcher, he's like $52 or some shit. It was
Sean,
either Norm or was you.
you took Greg Harris one year, and I guess that must have been when the first time that you were in the league, right? In the 90s. I remember
I
it
don't
was
even
the
know
end.
who Greg Harris is.
I think he was a reliever from the Padres, and you.
Yeah. I think it was at the Rockies too. Or the Reds.
I'm thinking it was you. It might not have been you. I mean, but I think it was you. And like at the end of the auction, you took him for like 24 because that's what you had left. And then you were thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that because I wasn't thinking about retaining him, about having a better salary to retain him at or something like that. But then now we realize that if you take a guy at 24, he's less likely to get poached. So it's like there's a strategy there too. But it's like Greg W. Harris. I don't know. Dude,
I don't remember that.
I don't know. And I guess I'm not 100% sure it was you, but maybe it was because I think it was you. So I don't know where I got that. But I thought about that. Like if you could get a guy for $1 and you got $50 left, are you better off just getting him for $1? Good keeper for next year, or are you better off saying $50?
No.
And then you don't have to protect him. You get, I don't know, the matching rights on him.
For as many keepers as you get now, I mean, it's like it's almost worth it to be a keeper.
I remember getting Mariano Rivera for $1 when he was a minor leaguer.
Was it 96?
Yeah, we did it at somebody's house in like Schaumburg.
Oh, so that was the year that I wasn't in it, right? That was the year we were talking about before.
Oh yeah.
The Pomersky. I was out, so it was 99 or 2000, something like that. And
So
I came back and you were gone. So
yeah.
Hey, so going back from the old days to the new and stuff, what do you think of the NA squad? You gotta like that, huh?
I love it.
Yeah. It's like having a minor league system, like as opposed to your like normal team. It's like you got all these guys as like a minor league system. That was like one of the coolest things we did as far as like,
well, that was
morphing.
Yahoo added that in 2014, I think it was, and that's when we did an NA draft not mid-season, but it was beginning of the
Very
season.
first pick of the NA draft was Jose Fernandez
Yeah.
because I had the first pick and that's who I took. And man, when he died in that boating accident, that fucking crushed me. I've had bad luck ever since.
I was going to make a bad joke, but I won't do it. So even but I have a spreadsheet that's got every year of our NA stuff, so we could see. But I do have that draft from 2014. There was good players in there.
Oh my God!
We only had 5 NA players back then. That's what Yahoo allowed in the beginning.
But it's like if they meet the 40-man roster, they're free game. They're in the fucking Yahoo system. So, man, I tell you what, it's like it's fun to look into like I look at the MILB.com page. You guys ever do that? Like
I never heard.
MLB.com, but it's MILB.com. It's the minor league system.
Only if it
And you
draws me there from Baseball
well
Reference,
here,
but
I'll show you
I
real
don't go
quick
there
here
specific.
before you guys go. Hold on a second.
I think it's important to remember with our NA squads, even if every team in the league took 10 NA guys, that's 120 guys when we have 12 teams. I mean. And that's really the equivalent of like every team's top 4 prospects. I mean, every guy on an NA squad in the beer league is a pretty good prospect, or should be anyway, theoretically. Right? That's top of the the White Sox top 4 NA players, the minor league players. It's quite a list, like.
Well, not everyone takes advantage of that. I don't want to be wrong about this, but I think it's like Bizzotti. He might only have one NA player.
Yeah, even if you're not like a big
Some people don't participate, man. I mean, when Dave Clark was in the league, he didn't really have a whole lot of NA players.
Who?
Dave Clark.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're not a big minor league scout guy, like I'm
No,
not.
just go pick MLB pipeline or whatever.
Yeah, just go down the list, take 10 players, don't think about it again. I mean, I do it. I'm never going to play those guys, as I've said, but I like to have them around to try to sweeten the pot in a trade, or maybe I can find somebody who's really knows what they're doing with these guys. So I mean, it's not going to hurt you,
Right.
And if you don't want to put any effort into it, you could just go right down the list, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Like boom, claim 10 guys and don't think about it for a year. You could do it like that too, and it would be better than not doing anything.
Oh, this thing's stuck. Damn it.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I put effort into it, and it really probably hasn't affected my outcome very much. So I can understand not doing it because maybe it's not going to affect things that much, but it's certainly not going to hurt you, and it might help you.
Hey, so check this out. This is off MILB.com. All right. It's the minor league baseball like equivalent to MLB.com. And so what I did was I went over here to top prospect stats under stats, and then brought this up. And this shows you all the top prospects where their stats are for the year. So it's like Jackson Churio is supposed to be the next fucking thing known to slice bread. And this is what he's doing so far in the minors this year. His strikeout rate is 22.8%. Mason Wynn, Evan Carter, Parada, Jackson Holiday, going down the line, Jackson Merrill. Somebody
This guy's
actually
a catcher.
dropped. Huh?
Parada's a catcher.
Who is?
Parada for the Mets is a catcher.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's
What's his slugging? I see his OBP is 350 something.
slugging is 444.
So he's not.
I got Harry Ford
not
here.
out.
Harry Ford is fucking like playing fucking gangbusters right now, but
He's a catcher. Isn't he on your roster, Lou?
Parada? No.
these are
just
like
lose him
I'm
anyway.
just saying, as an NA guy.
I would just lose him to you anyways.
Yeah.
When he comes up, I drop him, and then you. Bloop, bloop.
But here's what they're doing here, though, is it's the top one for each team. So you don't have like 2 or 3, and then they go with the second best one. So you start to see
Henry
the dudes
Davis.
here, and it's like, okay, the second best, like one in the, the fucking like.
Jeffy, we got a sombrero here. Where is he?
Where's the sombrero?
Henry Davis. Where is he?
Oh, right there.
There he is. Look at that. Ronnie Mauricio.
Well,
Royce Lewis. That's another sombrero, right?
Yeah, there's ones up above too that are around. I have Mason Wynn.
This Sal Frelick, I guess, got hurt. He got hurt bad too. He like broke his leg or some shit. I think I heard that.
Zach Veen.
Zach
That's a
Veen.
sombrero.
Huh?
Zach
Zach Veen,
another
he's got a
sombrero.
broken hand.
What is
Naylor just made it up.
what is
Jordan
Bush has been
Westburg
up,
just
right?
got called up. Look at Jordan Westburg, 18 home runs. 18 that's gotta be home runs, right?
Michael
Yeah.
Bush has been
He's
called
got
up, right?
Jordan Westburg had 18 home runs and he's a second baseman, shortstop, third baseman. So if
what
you can
is
play that many positions,
what is Armstrong's numbers for the Cubs?
Armstrong.
He's a Crow Armstrong. He was a
Oh,
Met.
Peter Crow Armstrong?
Yeah.
Right. See here. Where's
Sean, do you have Andy Rodriguez too?
No.
Somebody's got him, right?
All right, Peter
Sage?
Crow Armstrong, 9 home runs, average 280, 363 on base percentage, 491 slugging,
850
854.
OPS.
That's actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he plays great defense. So
He's a former Met.
Yeah.
I know. I liked him coming out of high school.
You know what's the weirdest thing is I did not realize that was fucking Lance Armstrong and Sheryl Crow's son.
I did not know that either.
Oh shit.
I think I
didn't-
learned that and I
Well, look
forgot
at
it,
his
too.
face. He looks like a cross between the two. He looks more like Lance Armstrong, but that is their son. That's why he goes by Pete Crow Armstrong.
Huh.
Fucking boom. What? Seriously, it's
all he
true.
wants to do is do some doping drugs and have some fun, right?
Yeah.
Sort of
All
across
I
the
want
board.
to do is some steroids. Then piss.
Kevin Alcantara, that's a former Gagger NA squad guy. Got rid of him.
I fucked it up. Hold on a second. Okay.
How's
Alcantara?
doing?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not doing
Matt
too
Mervis.
less than a 300 OBP.
Look at
in the
Owen
minors?
Casey
Come on,
here.
man.
Owen Casey's double A though. I like the competition at double A. If you're doing well at double A, man, you're a fucking baller.
I had this Christian Hernandez guy too. His OBP is 310.
You got Christian Hernandez?
Yeah, for a little while. No, not now. In Alcantara, look at it, less than a 300 OBP in the minors. Come on, man.
I think they fucking like signed Christian Hernandez when he was like 16 fucking years old or some shit.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't know that. That is Sheryl.
What about Pete Crow Armstrong?
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God, man, like three months ago, I was saying the same fucking thing you were. I mean, it blows your mind when it's like it's almost obvious, but it's like then when somebody brings it up to you, you're like, that makes every fucking bit of sense in the world.
Yeah.
Fucking
Who did the Mets trade him for to the Cubs?
oh well, let's bring up
Stroman, right? Was it Stroman? No.
Or was it Baez?
No, it was.
It was Baez.
It was Baez and Williams.
Yeah,
Trevor Williams. That's what it was.
Boy, did we get the best end of that deal. Thank you, Easter Bunny. Bonk, bonk.
Javi.
Yeah, Detroit's feeling his wrath.
Well,
It's been a long fucking time.
Sean said we're gonna pull an all-nighter with this thing. He's got no.
Well, I was gonna.
You guys
want to
go 5?
Boys, I'm out, boys.
No, we are too. To be honest with you, man, this has gone long. But we always keep. You know what though? We just have fun.
You think 3 hours and 20 minutes is like, come on, that's chump change. We can keep this thing.
It didn't feel like very long. That's the problem.
That was part 1. We can do part 2 now. Let's do it.
Next time you have to have a picture of fucking like lemonade vodka fucking drink and just keep pouring yourself some.
Next time I will.
You came unprepared is like just, and that's kind of a party foul for this thing.
We gotta have one where like somebody like falls asleep on camera.
Yeah.
And,
Lou brings
you know,
his box of wine. I
they're
mean,
just like
shit.
drooling on their computer, and
That would probably be me.
yeah, you can see Sean fell asleep at the 3-hour 40-minute mark.
Yeah. I know, it's like I got a big hand, but this is still a big bottle.
That's a big bottle.
Oh shit.
I think this is 4 bottles of wine. So I can't finish this. It takes me
Dude,
at
that's the
least
same amount of liquid
least
that's
a
in
night and a
that.
half
It's
to
just
do
got a
that.
glass bottle.
That's not 4 bottles of wine.
I think it is.
Well, you know what? When the glass is not
4
included,
bottles.
it's yeah.
See it?
3 liters, man.
No, it looked like one of those skinny boxes.
3 liters. Everything's a 750 milliliter wine bottles. So you get 4 liters equals, yeah. That's
I go through 2 of these a night. So, you do the math. No, I think I think it takes me 5 nights. I don't know. Maybe 4. I don't know. Maybe 3. Between 3 and 5, I think. I like my wine.
What's your wine of choice?
Anything in a box that isn't too heavy and it's very cheap.
Is it a Chardonnay? Is it a Pinot Noir?
Oh, this is a Pinot
Grigio?
Noir. This one's a Pinot Noir. I like Shiraz.
Pinot Noirs are my favorite red wines.
Which one?
Pinot Noirs.
Yeah, Pinot Noir, Shiraz. I'll do a red blend. I'm not picky.
Pinot Grigio is like my favorite white. I mean, I can do a Chardonnay, but I don't like getting like.
I never buy any white. Diane doesn't like white, so.
It just depends on what you're eating, though. I mean, if you're eating fish or some shit like that, then it's like that.
Anything
more.
I eat goes with the red wine.
Not to get all snazzy
hot
and
dogs, red wine.
because
Oreos,
rarity that I
red
gotta
wine.
fucking.
Chicken,
this
red
shit.
wine. It just goes with everything. Pizza,
John's over there laughing, going, "You fucking shut the fuck up! You're talking about wine."
grilled cheese, red wine. Well, let's get started on a new topic.
Shut this shit down, man.
Let's get started on a new topic. Sean, let's
go to bed.
Almost Sooners now. We already
I
did.
gotta go to bed. I got another ride with tomorrow.
I got some major thunder going on here.
So. Really?
Oh, that came through here on Sunday, yesterday.
Oh, I thought he had gas.
Yeah, it's
well,
been
we had
humid.
big storms on. No, it was Saturday night.
In
At
Illinois?
least we did here in Yorkville.
Yeah.
Do you know what the fucked up thing was? It's like I got up Sunday morning, like Saturday night. Well, no, I don't know if it was Friday to Saturday. No, it was Saturday. Anyway, it like rained overnight, and it wasn't like they didn't say it was gonna rain. I left all my cushions on my fucking chairs outside and shit, And then it fucking like poured. Then it blew and then fucking dried everything out. So when I got up in the morning, it looked like everything was completely fucking fine. And then I sit down in that fucking chair, and it was like somebody left the toilet seat up. I was like, what the fuck? like water squirt up my butthole and shit. I hit that fucking pad so hard. Fuck. So the first thing I got in the morning is like I go outside and have a smoke and fucking let the dog out. As soon as I wake up, I get a wet ass.
You get an enema.
Yeah, right. God damn it. Anyway, we gotta shut this shit down.
I'm out,
John,
boys.
We'll see you again in August or September when you're challenging Sash for first place, okay?
Yeah, when you're trying to beat Gambler Spear out of that 4th spot.
You might have a better chance than I do. So
I don't know about that.
I'm not making a joke.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. Sorry we took a long time, but it fucking, you know what? Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah. Always.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. See you, Sean.
Good luck with you.
All right.
See you in a couple months.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hey, buddy.
He gone.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be a short one because I think he shortened it
Well,
last
god
time.
damn it. It's like you know what? It's on us, man. I mean, we're the ones that fucking keep it rolling.
We go until the guest goes like, "I'm out." You
Pretty
notice that?
much. It's like when they get fucking sick of us and they're fucking they're like, "Meow."
When
No, I know. I mean,
it's,
we were having fun and shit.
it's never happened where
I
there's
just
it's never happened where there's three of us on and then one of us goes like, "Well, you know what?" It's always
could
like the other, it's always the other person that
could you imagine if we did like a panel and did like five people in the same room?
there would
How
always be
long that
somebody
would
that would
fucking
stay on.
last?
If we didn't have anybody, well, I guess that's not true because the first two we did weren't that long. I was gonna say like if we didn't have somebody to stop us, how long would we talk?
That's true.
But so if we had five on, would we stay on longer? Because there'd always be somebody that would be willing to do it.
No, I just think we'd have so much goddamn fun that we'd want to just keep doing it for a while. So I don't know. You know, it would actually be kind of cool to have two people on at one time instead of just one.
Yeah, maybe we'll
You
do
know, and
it
just
at
like
the
kind
end of
of
the
break
year.
the mold. Like say, okay, let's like the second go around, we do everybody individually again, and then maybe the third go around, we try to get two people together, and it's like create a different dynamic. You know what I mean?
Well, next week we might have Steiger on.
Oh, I hope so.
So if he can do it,
So what time are we gonna need to do that? Because I mean,
it would be like early mid afternoon. I think it would
like
have
two
to be
o'clock,
something like that. I don't know. What see what he thinks.
like noon, one, two.
Probably doesn't have to be as early as noon. So maybe a little later than that. Could be mid afternoon.
I think the day I get off is maybe Tuesday.
Oh, so you're working the Monday, the third?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. So that's gonna be tough. Well, we'll figure it out.
right.
Well, Jeff.
All right. Well, let's sign off, man. I mean,
All
it's
right.
like we just like talked about a whole bunch of fucking afterthought after business and stuff like that, right before we even signed off. But
This is a
anyway,
new record, man. This is like I think this is 3.5.
yeah, I know.
So,
I've gone through like a quarter bottle of this fucking handle.
you realize the things that we're saying now, no one else is ever going to see.
No, who cares? This is only for our fantasy baseball league. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if you want to fucking listen to it, fine. But if you don't, I don't give a shit.
If you know, like Chad said, he
Most of
listens
the
to it.
stuff is coming straight out of our ass half the time.
Chad said he listens to it when he's making dinner. Well, he's gonna have to. This might take 2 weeks to catch up on this
Yeah. He'll give up on this in about fucking 20 minutes.
one. All right, Jeff. Well, good luck this week. Good luck to the dads. Stay
I
out of the
need it, man. I got an 0 and 6, and I
stay out of
gotta
the basement.
um have a great week. And I'm so sorry about your chickens.
Ah,
I'm gonna look into buying you 8 chickens.
no. I
I
don't even.
want to.
We're debating whether we want anymore. We we wouldn't be able to get any more until almost a year from now anyway. So we'll see.
What if I got you 8 chickens and a farm dog to fucking protect those chickens?
It's really me. I take care of them. You know, I do the daily stuff, and so
All
um,
right.
it was
You don't
supposed
want
to
like
be.
3 chickens?
It was supposed to be shared, but
I
it's
could.
just me.
Jesus Christ, this fucking dog is farting its ass off. I was like, what the fuck? That wasn't me.
Blame it on the dog, huh?
You know what? Here's the fucking thing. It's cheaper to get them like really good fucking like if you want to do like a treat for a dog, it's like they sell these like hard boiled eggs and shit in the fucking grocery store. They cost like, I don't know, $4 a fucking pack. Right? You take one of those fucking, if there's 6 in them, take one of them and cut them in half and give it to the fucking dog. It's way better than a fucking same thing you get for dog treats that cost like $12 a fucking pack. So crazy. So anybody out there listening, feed your dog people food.
Couldn't have.
It's cheaper. Jesus Christ. Anyway, love you, buddy. You have a
All
great
right.
night. And
See you next week.
Who are we gonna try to get? Who are we gonna try to
Possibly.
fest? Who is this? Oh, it should be Steiger.
Yeah. But
Okay,
well, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, next week's July 4th weekend.
I hope so. I hope we can get Dave. And then yeah, we'll talk. All right,
Okay.
cool. See ya.